And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. I know I'm late, but you already know what time it is. It's not my fault. You got to blame the white man. We got a whole lot going on, quite a few things happening. Shout out to the new Black Lives Matter chapter in Hollywood Hills in Topanga Canyon. Right up there in Calabasas, Malibu, right by the beach. Real nice. Light work, little $1.4 million estate. No big deal, right? No big deal. Pretty expensive prices up there in Los Angeles. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that for sure. Also, Biden wants to implement some more gun control. Talking about, you can't have any ghost guns, and we're going to limit you and your ability to buy a pistol that could be considered a short barrel rifle. A lot of things like that they want to restrict. You know, the funny part about these laws is that they only affect criminals. Well, actually, they affect civilians and give criminals upper hand. They affect criminals in a negative way, in a positive way, and they affect civilians in a negative way. We get the proverbial short end of the stick. Also, cash for illegals. Remember the whole cash for clunkers kerfuffle back in the day? Well, how about cash for illegals? $15,600 US for illegal aliens in New York City. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere in the world, and I appreciate you for being right here live on the show. Thank y'all for watching. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy what you've heard thus far, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. So like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. We got a whole lot going on. We got to talk about the new Black Lives Matter chapter in Hollywood Hills, the black and gun control. What else we got? Rather than cash for clunkers, we get cash for illegals. Some of these vaccine problems. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been, quote unquote, paused in 4 states. I think it got resumed in North Carolina. My question would be, how are you going to pause a vaccine and then restart it? Like, what was the pause for? Did you go and fix the formula? You tweak some stuff? Like, are we doing a trial run? Like, what's going on? If it caused a bunch of adverse reactions and weird things in people right away, not just latent effects that may happen later, or some undiscovered things. Matter of fact, I'm going to start right there. Let's talk about these vaccines that have kind of gone wrong all over the country, but in 4 states specifically. Let me see where those states were. I'm pulling it up right quick. I know it was in Georgia. It was in Forsyth County, which is like 45 minutes away from downtown Atlanta. But you also have, let me see, Colorado, Iowa, and North Carolina. So Iowa, Colorado, Georgia, North Carolina. In those 4 states, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was paused, meaning they stopped distributing it, but I think it was resumed in North Carolina. But like I said, what is the purpose in pausing the distribution if you're not going to go change it? I think that'd be the most important thing, right? To figure out what's happening, to fix the problem, maybe. But how are you going to fix it? How do you know if it's fixed? And how do you know that you won't have any problems later? See, the thing about Johnson & Johnson is that they have this lawsuit happening right now, right? Or recent lawsuit behind the talcum powder and women catching ovarian cancer. And, I'm going to talk about the black community for a minute, because this has been the big point of contention. You got people like Anthony Fauci and all the rest of them. They say they want to increase minority participation in the vaccine. You got all kind of scare tactics. I did a video on this article on thehill.com, and they said that the SNL skit, which was very well done, by the way, shout out to the writers over there at SNL. I'm not an SNL fan, obviously, but that was a really good skit. I'll give credit where credit is due. The skit was about black folks not wanting to take the vaccine because it's just something that they're not really interested in. But in the skit, they were saying, hey, I'm good. Tuskegee happened. I'm straight. And The Hill did this article and they had like this little audio piece that went with it. And they said that SNL was playing upon the black community's ignorance and cowardice when it comes to getting the vaccine. But wait a minute. Why is it ignorance? We know what's going on. We see what's happening. Anybody can see, regardless of what color you are, we can see that there's been some issues with the vaccine, right? With other vaccines and shots and clinical trials and whatnot that you might not hear about. All kind of class action lawsuits that have been happening. So maybe that's why we don't want to get it. And then we see things like this. It's like, well, hold on. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Like, just hold the phone. Hold your horses. You got the vaccine, quote unquote, paused in 4 states. Well, the Johnson & Johnson, the one-shot vaccine, paused in 4 states. And the efficacy rate is lowest out of all of them. And you just getting sued for this whole thing with the talcum powder. Now, the thing about the talcum powder, which is crazy, going back to the black community, because we're the ones who are trying to convince, right? The quote unquote minorities. They're trying to shame us into it. They're trying to make it be a race thing. Oh, there's not enough brown people getting the vaccine. It's overly white, all this and that. They're trying to shame us into it. But what they don't say about Johnson & Johnson specifically is that this whole talcum powder thing, they knew about the potential cancerous nature of their product, meaning the baby powder that had asbestos fibers in it that was causing potentially ovarian cancer. They knew about that back in 2006. But they continue to market it to the very same group that was getting cancer from this in higher numbers, which were African-American women and also overweight women in the South. Because you're living in an area with a high humidity and it's hot. So they were putting the powder like as like an antiperspirant and deodorant in certain areas of their body. You know, that's what was going on. So they were marketing to them when they knew that this was potentially carcinogenic, so it could cause cancer, and it did. Now they got a whole lawsuit going on. I think it just got wrapped up, last year, 2020. This is not slavery, 1865. This is not 1920. This is not Jim Crow. This is 2020, last year. Not even the full 12 months ago. You're talking about December 2020, all right, recently. Okay, I've not even been a full year older since this whole lawsuit's been going on. So this is something that's happening right now today. But that same company, Johnson & Johnson, knew about the cancer risks of the baby powder in women and still marketed to the very group that was getting cancer more than anybody else. And you want to try to tell that group, hey, trust me, we know what we're doing. And if you don't take the vaccine, that means you're a coward and you're ignorant. Is that right? Oh, okay. So I didn't see the news story about Johnson & Johnson being involved in a lawsuit. I didn't see people out there passing out, throwing up, everything else, getting carted off of the vaccine site. I didn't see that. And then what they'll say is, oh, well, the reactions that are negative are very rare, like 2%. I was like, all right, well, tell me the chances of catching the virus and dying, huh? You tell me that. And also tell me what the percentage of people are that are overweight and or obese that caught the virus and died or had some kind of hospitalization, intubated, whatever it is. You're talking about 80% of those that died or got hospitalized were overweight or obese, and the chances of that happening are very low. They say, I think 30 million Americans caught the virus, and out of that, 500,000 died. But out of that, only like less than 10% died from the virus alone. So when she started to like really dig down in it, virus alone, comorbidities, the chances are pretty low with your own immune system. So why not just take that chance? Now, if you feel like the vaccine is a good thing and it can help you, I say go for it. It's your choice. I'm not here to judge you for getting the vaccine or not. I'm just saying maybe people like thehill.com and other publications should not say that people are ignorant, meaning not knowing, or cowardly, meaning afraid to get this vaccine when we see things that don't make any sense, that don't add up, that would make anyone hesitant to get it. And if you just, making the conscious decision, a rational, measured decision, you might say, you know what, I'll step this one out. I'll just go ahead and let everybody else have it. I'm good. I'll sit it out. Y'all got it. So that's pretty much what it is. So yeah, Shout out to everybody out there that is woke in the true sense and understands what's going on. Yeah, Johnson and Johnson, no bueno, not for me. I'm good. I am totally good. Right when I saw Johnson and Johnson and they said one shot, I'm like, And then how about this? What I just saw on the Twitters, and I've seen it on other actual news outlets, is that these vaccines, like the Moderna and the Pfizer, the actual quote unquote good ones, they only going to last you about 6 months, give or take. They say up to 6 months, like right around that. So it may be a little bit longer, potentially. Like it says at least 6 months, not up to 6 months. So at least 6 months. So it could be a little bit longer than that, but 6 months. Then they say you're going to need more shots after that. So if it only lasts 6 months, right around that, and there's other forms of the virus that have been mutated, super mutant strains of the virus that have been coming up over on the left coast, California, and everywhere else, why would I put so much faith in this really 2 shots that have had damaging side effects, allegedly, that are not even going to last that long? If the first round of shots are going to be one way, how do I know that the second round of shots are going to be the same? You see, like, okay, you get the shots now that last right around 6 months. Is it going to be the same shot and the second time you get it, or is it going to be different shots? Are they experimenting on you? I was like, okay, the first shot, we can tweak it a little bit, make it a little bit better, a little bit less lethal. Okay, so let's get this out there right now. But then the other shot that has been quote unquote updated or improved could be worse when it's actually in the field. When it's actually being tried on people, it may not go the same way the first one went, which also has some problems. So if you want to be part of that and that's what you interested in, and I say go for it. But personally, I'll pass. So it is what it is. Yeah. Hey, but you know what? If they say, how about this though? How about this? People talking about the vaccine passport, and this is where guys like, I don't want to say any names, but you know what I'm talking about. His name rhymes with a 0. His first name starts with a B, ends with an E and an N. I'm not sure if it was him or not. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but somebody was saying that vaccine passports might not be a big deal because you can get back to work and get back to life and everything will be all right. Okay, well, check it out, though. You get the vaccine passport, and it's valid for your first round of shots that are happening right now. And what I mean by that is like the first set of shots. So if you get the Moderna or the Pfizer and it requires 2 shots consecutively within the first week or so of you getting it, that's your first set. Then they're going to say, okay, you got to get upgraded. Now you got to get more shots 6 months from now. And then another little supplemental shot in another 8 months and then 12 months. It's going to be, you got to constantly keep getting shots with this whole vaccine passport thing. It won't be a one-shot deal. It'll be constantly over and over and over again. Now, do you want that? What if in the second round of shots that you're required to get under a vaccine passport, you're seeing a bunch of reports of people falling out and dying and weird side effects and some other stuff going on? Then, but you already said you got to have a vaccine passport, so now you got to get it. You've kind of like written a blank check on your own body, and I don't like that kind of, I don't think that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like writing blank checks at all, period, let alone on my physical body, because you only get one of those in your lifetime. So I'd rather not have a blank check written on my body. Personally, that's just me. All right. But hey, like I said, whatever you guys want to do is totally fine. I'm not here to discourage you. I'm just saying my key point here, before I get to my next point, my next topic is I'm all about personal freedom. I don't want nobody to try and force me to do anything. I don't want to have any vaccine passports. I don't want to have anything of that nature. Let me do my own thing and just live my own life. And how about that? That'd pretty much be how I roll with it. So yeah, thank you all for joining yet again. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And we got to get to Black Lives Matter, Hollywood Hills. We got to get to it. I could talk vaccine all night, and I know I'm going to get into it probably when the calls come in a little bit later in the show, but we got to get to Black Lives Matter, Hollywood Hills. Now, this one I like. this story I like a lot because number one, you guys may or may not know, I've said it time and time again live on the show. I'm a big fan of HGTV, anything home improvement, this old house. I love tools. I got all kind of tools in the garage. I got everything. Like I love tools, just everything. I'm a bit construction. I like all that stuff, right? So when I saw this, I was like, great. I can critique the house, look at the property, and see what's going on. And then get into the financials and the real estate, all of that good stuff. I like real estate too. I think I'm gonna probably invest in real estate once I get some of this Black Lives Matter money. I'm gonna get into real estate and invest there. And I'm gonna speak about that in a minute. How she could have gone somewhere else rather than where she went. But anyway, I'll back up a little bit in case you're lost. Now, one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter, Patrisse Cullors, who's married to a person. Husband, because they consider themselves to be gender non-conforming, right? Matter of fact, let's put up a picture right quick so you can see what I'm talking about. I think these people are two co-founders of Black Lives Matter, right? The destructive, plague-like organization that has swept through America like a pack of wild locusts. Yes, these people, matter of fact, hold on. Yeah, Janaya Khan, that's her. So let's get a picture right here just for reference. And you guys can see what I'm talking about. And all right, that's her right there. Let's put it on the screen. Give me 1 second. And there we go. Boom. So on the left, the dark-skinned lady, that's Patrisse Cullors, the person in question. And on the right, that's her that's her spouse, Janaya Khan. And these are the faces of Black Lives Matter. You probably didn't know that because all you see is people out there looting and shooting and carrying on, stealing toilet paper, flat screen TVs, beating up police officers and stuff like that. But these are the agents of chaos that have, they are the ones that have put all these things into motion. They'll be the ones speaking at Apple and Google and stuff like that, getting buku dinero to do so. Now, Janaya Khan's from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and Patrisse Cullors is from LA. She's from Van Nuys, Los Angeles. And rather than moving to a part of LA where she can be with the community, like Watts would be a great place. Inglewood, Crenshaw, Slauson, the Jungles, somewhere like that, right where the people, even a place like Baldwin Hills or something. Rather than going out there, she went way up to Topanga Canyon. Okay, you're 10 minutes from Kim Kardashian and Kanye West and Calabasas and Malibu and the beach. Real nice, right? Now, her little estate, her little quaint estate out there is worth between 1.4 and 1.5 million. All right, light work. And the property was purchased through one of her corporate entities. I don't know which one it was. I don't know if it was Black Lives Matter or some other random NGO type organization, pilfering, pandering, grifting organization. I'm not really sure, but 1.4 to 1.5. Now, I know California's market is ridiculous. To live in Compton, in that house, you're paying $550,000, and it might be halfway a bando, bars in the window, 1,200 square feet. I understand, I get it. But hey, you want to be with the people. You want to be Black Lives Matter, all this blackity black vote back to Africa. Stay down there. You'll be fine, right? You'll be safe, right? And in the jungles, you'll be safe out there. You could buy a whole complex of the jungles, like an apartment complex out there. You can live out there. Buy the whole block, as the cool kids say. Buy the block and fix it up. You could buy 3 houses out there in Compton, fix them up, and have that be where you're headquartered at. And the community will protect you, right? You have been able to get this whole defund the police movement going on. So the police ain't going to be out there. So since ain't going to be no police out there, and you have the funding to be able to make sure things are straight, you're not going to have any crime. You're not going to have any violence. You're going to have Watts become the same thing as Topanga Canyon, Calabasas, or anything else as far as the crime rate. up there in the hills, crime is pretty much good. It's not really a big deal. So you won't have any kind of crime problem. And you have a nice, well taken care of property with the same money. But no, you want to stay up there in the hills in a house worth 1.5. Okay. But hey, can anybody say they're surprised at this? I'm not surprised at this at all. I think that this is pretty much par for the course. You're talking about Black Lives Matter and these groups. This is what they do. You know, they talk about how much they hate the white man and the white man is racist. And, you know, if they're out there with white people, they're going to be victims of crime and the police going to get called on them out there. But they live right there with them. They live right there with them. So I don't really understand. I thought that the community is a safe place and the police made it unsafe. So since the police have been defunded in Los Angeles County, go out there to watch and have a great time. Why not? It's peaceful because ain't no police out there. And they love you, right? Because all black folks just love Black Lives Matter. You know the reality? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Most black folks truly don't align themselves with Black Lives Matter, although they do if you ask them. You understand? Like, okay, put it to you like this. Most black folks are going to vote Democrat, right? And if you ask them in the street, do Black Lives Matter? They say, yeah, Black Lives Matter. I believe in Black Lives Matter. But you're not really going to see them out there marching and picketing and things of that nature. Not like you're going to see the white liberals out there doing that so-called work. You're going to see some black folks out there, but not that much. Like I said, even in a place like Atlanta, which is a black city, LA is an Hispanic city at this point, but Atlanta is a black city, 50% black. Even in Atlanta, BLM is about 80% white, 20% black, right around that. Not many Hispanics in BLM, but that's a different story. I'll talk about that in a moment. It's mostly a white organization as far as those that are on the ground picketing and marching. Now, when it comes to the riots and the smashing and grabbing and the crime, you're going to see the general miscreants of the community who are going to be black out there just robbing and shooting and looting. But these same guys are going to be out there regardless doing that. You'll see them same guys that are still in a flat screen TV or Xbox also selling drugs and credit card scamming and things of that nature. You're going to have the general crime element out there regardless. But as far as people that are on the ground talking about policy and change and defunding the police, it's going to be mostly white. So you get these mostly white liberals to donate to Black Lives Matter to give to her extravagant lifestyle. And you say, you know what? All right, black folks, I know it's about you and Black Lives Matter and woke and blackity black, but guess what? I'm not going to be down here in Watts, Compton, Inglewood, nowhere like that. I'm going to be up here in the hills. That's just what it is. Okay. Yeah, I know I said that I hate the white man and orange man bad, white man bad, but I'm good. I'm going to be up here. It's always like that. Always. You can set your watch to it. It's so common and you can predict it. I don't really see any of these race hustlers living in the community for real. You know, I don't really see it at all. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, that's right. Wayne's World. MAGA is more diverse than BLM for sure. 1000%. And MAGA is most certainly more diverse than Topanga Canyon out there in Los Angeles in the hills, where one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter resides with her bride, husband, spouse, whatever they want to call that person, Janiyah Khan, the Canadian. All right. And I think Patrice has kids. I'm not sure how that works. Whether she was with a man before and she switched. I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. All right. So, yeah, 1.4. Now, like I was saying, 1.4 is a lot of money. Like, that's not a small amount of money. And I'd like to know, okay, was it a mortgage taken out? Was it bought in cash? Is that her only property? And what are the comps looking like in that area? Is she going to tear that house down? Is she going to build up more? She probably would build it up a little bit more, and she might have other properties that are close by or in other parts of the country. It's like Bernie Sanders, same thing. Doesn't he have like 2 or 3 houses? You know, all these Marxists, because remember, Patrice Cullors is the one that said that Black Lives Matter are trained Marxists. The lady I showed you with her wife, husband, husband, that's a trained Marxist. They probably both are Marxists. They talk about Marxism and communism and, the means of production. They talk about all that stuff, but they stone cold stomp down capitalists. Multiple houses, living extravagantly, riding around big sports cars. That's what they do. Bernie Sanders made one. Multiple houses, a vacation house, house in D.C., house over there. It's like, all right. And then, the funny thing about some of these guys, Bernie, when he first started going out there, trying to become the president, the first time, he was railing against millionaires and billionaires. Remember that? And then after a while, it became just billionaires. So once he got to that 7-digit mark, it was like, okay, I'm a millionaire now. I can't speak against myself. It's just the billionaires. That's how they do. But it's always like that. Do as I say, but never as I do. At least he stopped saying attack the millionaires when he became a millionaire, rather than Patrice Cullors talking about how much he hates the white man, but then lives right next to the white man, 1.4% black Topanga Canyon. But we'll move right along. All right. And what else we got going on? Oh, now the cash for illegal aliens. Here's another one. Now, like I said in my video earlier this week, New York State, not the city, but the entire state, including the city, is going to give some illegal aliens a one-time payment of $15,600 each. 15,600. Not just for a family. Because when I first saw the number, I was like, 15,600 for what? A family of 5, family of 8? Like, what's that number for? No, if you are an illegal alien working in New York and you're able to prove that you lost income as a result of the virus and you didn't get any monies from the federal government, like a stimulus or unemployment, if you can prove those things, then you may get a one-time check for $15,600. Now, the money coming from your money. If you live in New York, you're a tax-paying citizen, the money comes from your money. And didn't they get a bunch of money from the federal government as well, New York State? So they got a bunch of federal money to help, with certain things with the virus. But somehow they were able to get $2.1 billion, put that into a fund and give to illegal aliens. Even if you can't prove that you lived in New York during the pandemic, you know what I'm talking about, pandemic, even if you can't prove that specifically and that you lost money because, the virus happened and X, Y, and Z, you still may be able to get $3,200, which is the sum of the 3 federal government stimulus checks. So you still can get some money even without proving that you lost money during the scamdemic in New York City. Now, my thing is, hey, how about I identify as an illegal alien that lived in New York during the scamdemic? How are they going to say that I'm not? No, I don't have a Hispanic accent or some other kind of random accent, a foreign accent, but so what? I identify as illegal, and you can't tell me that I'm not. If you tell me that I'm not an illegal alien, that means you're a bigot. You're a racist. You're judging me because I have the Black American accent and I look American. You're judging me. So you can't be racist. You can't judge me. I am an illegal alien, right? That's how it's supposed to be. They're talking about, you got to prove your identity. Excuse me? I got to prove my identity. I thought that was racist because when we said it over here on the right, talking about, you got to prove that you are who you say you are, when it comes to the election in Georgia, that's racist. That's depriving minorities of their right to vote. Oh, okay. So it's racist when it comes to being able to vote, to prove who you are, right, to show identification. But when it comes to what you're doing out there in New York City, all of a sudden it's not racist anymore. And that was an actual conversation because they were saying that you should not have to be able to prove that you are who you say you are to get $15,000. New York City has a lot of scamming going on, not just from the regular normie citizens, but also from the top. I think Bill de Blasio's wife lost, quote unquote, like $900 million. How do you lose $1 billion? Was it put to the side for this illegal alien fund? I don't know, but I digress. She lost $900 million. Matter of fact, let me try to find that right quick. Bill de Blasio's wife, $900 million. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Okay, now there's two different articles right here. First one here is on Daily Mail. Okay, let's go ahead and just turn that off and get back on it. So she lost $850 million, almost $900 million. So where's it gone? Bill de Blasio's wife can't account for a staggering amount of taxpayer money that the New York mayor gave her for mental health project. So Charlene McCray, that's her name, that's Bill de Blasio's wife, was assigned an $850 million budget for her Thrive New York City program. But records show scheme has failed to keep track of what it spent the money on. The small amount of data that was collected shows it fell far short of targets. Despite that, organizers have expanded the budget to $1 billion over 5 years. Why? If you can't even show where the first almost $900 million went, why would you expand the money? Okay, I'm thinking the money went to this illegal alien thing. This was in March 2019, just 2 years ago, right? Now, here's another one. This is February 2019, right before that, right around the same time, actually. This is on New York Post. And it says de Blasio and co-mayor wife have wasted $1.8 billion of taxpayer money. $1.8 billion. So they can just waste your money, throw it away. And then when you say, hey, where is it at? They can just say, look, man, don't ask all them questions. I'm going to tell you nothing. We took the money, spent it on whatever we want to spend it on, and that's it. Okay, that's it. I can spend it on my nice outfits and my suits and my ties and my cufflinks and whatever. And so what? And how about this? I'm going to give your taxpayer money to illegal aliens so that they're able to do whatever they want to do. Not just those that are not citizens that may have legal status, meaning green card or work visa or something in that, no, illegal aliens. It's crazy, but that's what we are nowadays. And my question would be to anybody that lives in New York, if you voted Democrat, which I don't think you guys probably aren't here right now, but my question to any New York Democrat would be why? Why are you voting for these people? Look at what they're doing. I'm not the kind of guy that says politics rules your life, but at the same time, it's like if you must pay taxes and who you vote for will determine how your money is getting spent and how much taken from you. You might want to be involved with the process, maybe. Okay, you might want to be involved, maybe, but people have voted for this. So those that have voted for it, this is what you asked for. And those that did not, I feel for you. I really do. I think it's also, this is also some federal money as well, not just New York taxpayer money. 1.8 billion wasted, lost, unaccounted for, but 2.1 billion spent straight on illegal aliens. Meanwhile, New Yorkers, like you had Bill de Blasio sending out the NYPD to break up parties of Jewish people with like 15 people in the house. Black folks having underground parties, getting arrested, stomped on and everything else. But you can give illegal aliens money? What are we doing? So don't deport the illegal aliens that are here and they shouldn't be, but lock up a citizen of New York City for having a party or a get together during the virus. Makes sense to me, but I digress. So the next time I get called some kind of name for being conservative or whatever, I'm going to point to stories like this. It's like, okay, you could call me a name. What about your man right here just stealing your money and doing whatever with it? It's to the point where a lot of these people on the left are just not really awake yet. Bill de Blasio could fire up a joint right in front of City Hall with your money and it'd be fine to someone on the left. But this is not a fine thing to do, not in the least bit. All right. So, yeah, $15,600 to illegal aliens. Not a good thing at all. All right. I'll move right along. We'll talk about that, of course, in the calls a little bit later. What else we got going on? Oh, now Joe Biden and the ghost guns. So Joe Biden wants to have more gun control. He wants to try to control these things called ghost guns. Now, I've been reading some of the comments and doing my research. There are some guys that are buying quote unquote ghost guns and using them in crimes. But for the most part, that's not what's happening. See, I think that they want to attack ghost guns to reduce your ability to have some kind of autonomy away from the government. The way a ghost gun works, or what they call a quote unquote ghost gun, is that you're able to buy certain parts of a gun that are unfinished. I'll bring it up on the screen right quick. And this is not an endorsement or anything of the sort. This is not that. So I'm not going to say, oh, go to this website, because I don't sell anything like this on my store. ABLmerch.com, by the way. Check out the merch right now. 1776 sats, all that good stuff. But I do not sell these at all. I don't endorse these. I'm just showing you what's going on. Let's put it on the screen right quick. Now, this right here is an 80% lower receiver. This is an AR-15 lower receiver. So you can buy this, have it shipped straight to your house, because it's not a firearm. This is not operable. According to the ATF, or the AFT, as Joe Biden said, this is on like a hunk of metal. This is like a piece of aluminum. It doesn't do anything because it has no components in it that actually will fire or anything of the sort. You got to be able to drill it and machine it. You have to be able to make this into an operable weapon, right? You got to buy everything else that would go on it. You got to buy your barrel and your trigger, and you got to buy all that stuff, your stock. You got to buy the whole thing. This by itself does not operate. However, you can make this into an operable weapon if you know what you're doing. So this right here is what they're talking about when they say a ghost gun. It's totally legal. It can go straight to your house. You need no FFL or nothing like that. It's totally fine the way it is, right? So they want to ban stuff like this, so you have less of an ability to do things on your own. Okay. Now, like I said, this is not really what's causing the problems with the violence in the streets. Most of the problems in the streets come from handguns that are stolen. That's just the reality of what's going on. I've seen guys with revolvers, but usually have like a semi-auto. And really, a lot of the guys in the street have completely illegal weapons. These guys got a Glock switch on their Glock. And like I said, I don't know anything about this. I just heard about it on the internet. I don't know nothing about where to get them or anything of the sort. I don't have anything like that, obviously, and I'm being serious when I say that. But you could put this little switch on the back of your Glock handgun and convert it into a fully automatic weapon. You got guys in the streets with that. They're not going to be really in their house with a drilling machine and trying to manufacture weapons. Some guys have done that, but that's not common. Put it to you that way. So they want to be able to ban that whole process. They want you to only be able to buy guns from an FFL. You can't even buy gun parts away from an FFL. So my question would be, okay, if you can't buy an 80% lower that's unfinished, not a firearm, without going to FFL or whatever, how about a magazine? How about a stock? How about the upper? How about anything that would go on a weapon? A sight, a scope? Like, what are we doing? Bipods? Are we going to have to do everything through like an actual gun store? Or can we just buy them on our own? Can we make them on our own without breaking some kind of federal law? I'm not really sure. All right. But also, what else we got? He wants to ban pistol braces. And I got to show you that, because that might be kind of complicated for people to really understand. Let me see if I can find it right quick. All right. Yeah, here, this perfect picture right here. Perfect picture. Now, actually, no, that's not really a good picture. I'm going to show you this. You guys may or may not have seen an AR pistol, but I'm going to show you what an AR pistol looks like so you can kind of understand. Yeah, okay. Here's what I use in the video. This is a great example. Now, they're talking about the Colorado guy, because the Colorado guy had a pistol brace, and they're trying to ban those as well. So here we go. This is what you would call an AR pistol, basically. Notice it's pretty short barrel. Anything lower than, I think, 16 inches, it's considered a short barrel rifle unless it's like this when it's considered a pistol. It's probably like a 10.5 inch barrel. And a key thing about this is right here on the back of it. That's not a rifle brace. That is a pistol brace. And it's meant to be worn like that on your arm. You strap it on your arm to stabilize it. It's a brace. It's not meant to be shouldered like that. And I'll show you that in a minute. So they have banned these, or they want to ban these within a few days or whatever, a month, 2 months or whatever. They want to ban this because they were saying, oh, it makes pistols too accurate and too dangerous. But this right here is considered a pistol, not a rifle. If you put a rifle stock on the back of that, rather than this pistol brace, that makes it a short barrel rifle. And you cannot do that if you don't have a federal tax stamp. You can get it, but you can't just go, like you couldn't get this from a store the way it is right here and just swap the rifle stock out with that without getting a federal tax stamp. If you do that, you've committed a federal offense. Now, the pistol is meant to be done like this with the arm brace. That's how it's meant to be. Now, you can do, that's called shouldering, technically. His cheek is right there, so it might not be shouldering, but whatever. That's kind of like, that's basically shouldering. So it's like that. You can do this, but you're not supposed to. You see where it's like a little hole right there? That would not be there on the rifle stock. And a little strap right there, that's meant to be going on your forearm so you can stabilize your weapon. But he has it like a rifle. You see, he has like a little sight, flashlight. You know, this is like a little foregrip. This is like an AR pistol, like a mini AR-15, basically. So they want you to be able to not do this. They don't want that to happen at all. They want you to only have, let me see if I can find another picture here. They want you to only have the little, the kind of weird stock that I don't like that they have. They want you to have something like this, which it's kind of like it defeats the purpose of having the pistol at all. I only want, if I can only have this, I don't even want an AR pistol. They want you to have something like that. Like a little, that's not really, you can't really shoulder that. You can shoulder that, but that's not comfy. That's not the wave. That's not what I want. That's not even a good example. That's like probably less. That's less than the 10.5 right there. So that's not really a good example. But that stock is pretty much, that's what they want you to have on the back of your rifle. Or they want you to have a longer rifle rather than the 10.5. They want you to have the 16 or better. But the thing about AR pistols or short rifles is that they're easier to maneuver. I like them personally. You can get in, it's like the best of both worlds. You can have the maneuverability, the rifle round. If you want to have a rifle round, that you can also get 9mm. But you can have a rifle round, maneuverable, easier. It's just better, in my opinion, depending on the circumstance. But they want to be able to ban those. And I don't really understand the point because, like I said, most of the crime that's happening is with handguns in the inner city. You're talking about some of these mass shootings that happen. They're rare compared to the inner city crime. Actually, a lot of the crime are also mass shootings, but they don't get recognized as such because it's the wrong race involved. Okay, if you have a black on black mass shooting, like there was a guy that killed his doctor, and I think his some of his family. It was an ex-football player, right? He went to his doctor's house, killed him and some of his family because he was cut from medication, cut the medication off. He didn't like it, so he went out there and got his revenge on him and his family. But that was not reported as a mass shooting, although it was. He shot, I think, 5 people and himself. That's a mass shooting. You only have certain things that are reported as a mass shooting, and then the weapon is focused on, rather than the situation and rather than everything as a whole. It just kind of like cherry pick, and that's not a very good thing to do at all. Yeah, cars kill more, hands and feet. Like the number of deaths from all rifles, whether it be a short barrel rifle, which is rare, super rare, a long rifle, a carbine, deaths from all rifles are less than half of the hands and feet deaths in America. Less than knife deaths in America. Way less than cars and things of that nature. It's the lowest hanging fruit. But I tell you what, though, for home defense, I want a rifle or something like that. A short rifle or a carbine, something like that for home defense. If you got these young boys out here with fully automatic Glocks, and you got 5 of these guys home invading you, what are you going to do with your flintlock pistol? You over here trying to get one shell loaded, trying to defend yourself. These guys, someone all in your house. What are you going to do? I want to have maximum accuracy. I want to have stopping power. I want all of that. And I can have that in my AR pistol, my carbine, and I'm straight. A shotgun is okay, but inaccurate, loud, just damaging. I want pinpoint accuracy, like I'm playing a video game. But they don't want you to have that. They want you to be at the mercy of the criminals, because these laws don't affect them, meaning the criminals. You know, these guys got whatever they want out there in the streets, but not you. So not a very good thing. And I hope that some of the more moderate senators and House members are going to go against this, because they have to understand that the constituents don't want this at all. They do not want it. And shout out to my governor out here in Tennessee, my governor, Bill Lee, who signed constitutional carry into law the other day. You can carry your weapon with no permit. I think that's open carry and concealed, if I'm not mistaken, which is great. They have that in Virginia, or at least they did have. I think they still have it in Virginia, where you can open carry a weapon with no permit. So I see guys in the hood with like cowboy holsters, and it's fine. You can carry your weapon outside on you. It's straight. Open carry is all good with no permit. And we get the same thing here in Tennessee. That's going to be fantastic. Excellent. I think open carry is probably better in some situations, because people say, oh, well, if it's going to be a mass shooter, it'll go for you first. Maybe not so much, because think about it like this. Mass shootings are rare, but robberies and things of that nature are more common. So if you're just a robber, right? Like, I remember one time I was in the barbershop. And this dude came in there. This is many years ago when I had hair back in the day. But this dude came in there, and we all knew. We in the hood. We know what time it is. We knew that he was trying to do something that he wasn't supposed to be doing. So he came in there looking all kind of weird. Like he wanted to get a haircut, but he didn't really sit down. He had kind of a scowl on his face. And then everybody kind of like moved their body towards him. Now, I'm in the chair, and I'm a pretty big dude, and my barber took my cape off me and revealed me. Now, I didn't have no gun on me, but the way I was sitting, you may have thought I might have had a gun on me, if that makes any sense. But anyway, some of these guys had guns on them, meaning some of the barbers. So when we all had that forward position like that, he just left. He just left because he didn't want that. He didn't want that. That's the power of open carry, in my humble opinion. So shout out to my governor, Bill Lee, for making that happen. That is a very good thing that he did. And I think that's going to start to carry. But the thing about social media in this new day and age, when you have trends that happen legally, sometimes they carry throughout the United States. It may start over here in Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, or somewhere. Then it just kind of moves. Everybody does it at once. So shout out to my governor and other governors that have constitutional carry on their books. All right. Yeah, that was a long time ago, many years ago. Yeah, he knew what time it was. When that guy, it was funny. My barber like pulled my chair around. Like everybody just straight face to front where he was at. Pull my cape off, straight looks. Nobody was smiling. So he knew that he might not make it that day. And my barber was like, man, he better be glad he left. He'd be out here leaking. He'd be out here leaking. So, yeah, That is what being a gun owner is: protecting yourself, protecting your property, protecting your kids, your family. That's really what it's a big part of it. Being able to hunt, being able to do what you need to do, and having your rights as a citizen, regardless of what people could say. Why do you need so many guns? Why do you need this gun? Well, I can. It's my right there. It's in the Constitution. Number 2, just read it right there. That's why I can have it. How about that? All right. And what else we got going on? There's quite a few things happening. And thank you for being here yet again. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And did I get everything? Oh, replacement theory. I spoke about that. And Tucker Carlson of Fox News was saying that a lot of these illegal aliens are coming here to replace Americans, to replace the current electorate. That's true. And he specifically said in his talk that it's not about white replacement, although they're being replaced as well. It's about all Americans. It's not just a white specific thing. And if you want to break it down to race, Don Lemon, because Don Lemon got mad and said Tucker was dog whistling to white people and all this and that. Don Lemon is so weird. It's like, okay, you got this whole white husband, but you talk about how bad the white man is every single night. I mean, how does your man feel about that, sir? How does he feel about that? Is he get his feelings hurt when you talk about the white man? Is it a grift? Is it an act? What's really going on here? But I'll move on. Anyway, Don Lemon was triggered talking about Tucker was dog whistling to the white audience of Fox News, all this and that. But it's not even about that. If it's about race, it's about blacks first more than anything else. Because like I said in my video, if you're flooding the country with illegal aliens, where are they going to go first? They're going to go to sanctuary cities, inner cities to get resources, to get money, to get jobs, to get work, to be able to sell drugs, to gangbang. And who lives there right now? Black folks. 90%, 80% right there. So, like, let's say, for example, you want to go to New York City, you want to go to Brooklyn or somewhere like that. Who are you going to be running into? That's going to be a conflict right there. And the illegal aliens, they're going to be the newest voting bloc if they get what they want, which is amnesty. If that happens, what leverage do black folks have anymore? We don't have much right now as it stands because we pretty much vote 90% for the Democratic Party. And then when we ask, hey, what are we going to get? Joe Biden says, look, vote for me, you ain't black. That's what you're going to get. Shut up, vote for me, and have that be that. But when it comes to the illegal aliens, we do whatever you want. They give you citizenship, amnesty, $15,000, whatever they want. So they're going to come to the inner city. They're going to be all in your schools, no English, speaking whatever they want to speak. They're going to speak Awatska. They're going to speak Spanish. They're going to speak Chinese, whatever they want. And all the monies is going to be diverted to them. If they go to Baltimore, all that money given to schools where you got guys with 0 GPAs will be diverted to them to get them trained up. And the left and some of the right, most of the left, they look at them as harder workers, more malleable, easy to control. So they're going to replace low-income people, low-skill people. That's going to be mostly black. Whites too. Everybody. Legal immigrants too. They'll be replaced. That's the plan, in my humble opinion. The floodgates are open. Thousands come through every day. Drugs coming through every day. Whenever I see a video of, let's say, like a white person or a black person, anybody on drugs on the ground, I'm like, well, that right there, that's part of the replacement. If you have an American citizen strung out on drugs, unproductive, not really involved with society, they'll end up dead soon from an overdose or locked up or whatever. They'll be cannon fodder. They'll be prison fodder. Meanwhile, when they're off in jail or when they dead from a drug overdose, the illegal alien will come in and take their spot. When they quit their jobs because of the stimmy check, the illegal alien will come in and take their spot. So when the stimmy checks run out, when there's no more cash to spend, they'll come back to their previous job and say, hey, where's my manager at? Hey, no English, no English. Okay, Taco Bell, no English. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. It's going to be a shock, but I'm already seeing it go down. And it's a masterful game they're playing with American people, and I'm here to just review the game. That's all. And I hope people are able to hear what I'm saying and take heed. Don't just quit your job because of the stimulus check or take it for granted like you got this country in your hand. You don't have it in your hand right now. The illegal aliens are coming in. We got to stop it. Got to stop it for sure. All right. So thank y'all for being here yet again. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up. I got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls as always. And let me go to the new place where super chats are because they keep wanting to move things around on me. That's fine. Let's go to where it's at. And let's go. Okay, let's go over here. There we go. We got it. And shout out to Apu Bakr, who says, ABL, just think if you were part of BLM, you could own a millionaire's mansion, but you have too much honesty and integrity. And we are grateful for that. Hey, thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. He also says, ex-NFL player Philip Adams murders 5 people, a doctor, his wife, and his 2 grandchildren, 9 and 5 years old, respectively. Where's media coverage? Well, there won't be any media coverage because it's the wrong race, because he's black, they're white. Now, if it was the reverse, if he was white and they were black, then that's all you would hear about. You wouldn't hear anything else but that if that were the case. That's a fact. And you know what? To talk about that right quick, this whole media bias thing, I think you would hear more about the Atlanta shootings if not for the fact that the Colorado shit happened like right after that. So they couldn't talk about the Atlanta shooting while ignoring the Colorado one. It'd be too obvious. So if not for the Colorado shooting, you would hear a lot more from the Atlanta one. That's a fact, in my humble opinion. Thank you to Scotty Flintstone, who says, help with your Malibu Mansion Fund. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you. Apple says a few more here. Eric Bolin walks off BBC TV interview when Alicia Mills calls him racist. What should we white folk do if we're called racist by liberals? I don't really know. Honestly, I think it depends on the situation and the person and the context. If it was me, I would say, all right, why am I racist? Let's talk about it. Why am I racist? Give me the reason why I'm racist. And then I would debunk it piece by piece. And that'll pretty much be that. And I wouldn't be afraid to speak my mind. I wouldn't have walked off, but I guess it depends on the situation why he walked off. I don't really know the context, but I would most certainly get down to the bottom of it if I was him. He also says, at Puck Pono, quote, I got a vaccine tattoo, V for vaccine, V for victory, at ABL. Looks like an L to me. Yeah. So it was a tweet where this guy got a tattoo and he got a so-called V on his leg for vaccine. But what it looked like to me was an L. If I could find that, I'll put it on the screen, but that was kind of an older tweet. But yeah. So, and my thing is, okay, you got a tattoo right now. You're going to need more of these shots in like 6 months. So you're going to get more tattoos. Matter of fact, here it is right here. All right. Let me put it on the screen right quick. So that's the guy's tattoo for the vaccine. Hey, that's an L right there. Or he going to need 5 more rounds of shots. It's like a 5 right there. So yeah, that is a super cringy tattoo if I've ever seen one. And the guy has like blue waves in his username. That's like the liberal calling card. So you already know what time it is. Just real cringy. All right. Also, where was I at? Let me go back to where I was. Hold on. And okay. Friendly reminder to callers, no drunk dialing. What's my opinion on Don Lemon? I already gave you that one. And why hasn't Kamala visited the border? Kamala got named to that position. Why, I don't know. But she has no desire to go to the border. She's not going to do that. Her whole purpose is just to go out there and cackle hysterically for no reason. That's it. And to be in the background of pictures with the president. And then also, once they go ahead and give Joe the heave-ho out of the office, she'll come in and be the next puppet. But for right now, she's not being puppeted. There's no strings because there's no role for her to accomplish at this moment. She's just there in the background. Matthew says, hey, ABL, thanks for the video today mentioning Johnson & Johnson's vaccine and graphene found in certain masks. Did you find any particular brand of mask with it? I don't know. I posted a link to that in the article for that video. So if it's there, it should be there, but I don't know as far as any kind of brand name. Thank you to Eric Burns Marsh, who says, ABL, don't apologize for being late. According to the National African American Museum, punctuality is a white supremacy. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, that was crazy. They had this whole little chart of things that are part of white culture that don't exist in black culture or any other culture, like being on time, being successful. It's like, really? Is that what it is? So you can't be, in order to be, you got to be white to be successful. Is that what's going on? Oh, okay. Interesting. And, I can't tell because you got Black Lives Matter in the Hollywood Hills, 1.4 milli, like it's nothing. So, but I digress. Thank you to Nicole, who says, my body, my choice, no jab. There you go, 1,000. Ken says, I know the white man lives in the bedroom with you. Savage ABL, I'm a Lemonhead. Apple says, unsmoking Parmesan cheese, that done in the hood. Yeah, I've never seen anybody smoke a food condiment before, like Parmesan cheese, but hey, it is what it is. Shout out to Noel Garcia, who says, Johnson & Johnson called Pennsylvania and asked, what should we do? Just put it on pause. You good? Santo Bartes says, Harris is avoiding the border crisis by spending time in Chicago, clearly trying to distance from the crisis. It makes me think there's two camps in the White House, Obama, Potato Biden, and Harris, whoever. Pretty much. Nicole also says, upgrade till they hit us with the chip. See, that's a good one. So basically, what I was saying earlier, they want to keep doing upgrades to this vaccine because to get the vaccine one time, this one round of shots, whether it be you get it once and then another time in the week, that won't be enough. In 6 months, they're going to say, hey, man, it's not effective anymore. We got to get another shot. And then they might be like, hey, you know what? We can make it more effective if we put a chip in there. And then we can track it and we can just update it remotely. So you won't come in anymore to get the shot. You can just push a button and boom, you get a new update. Okay, so that could be a thing. Let me see. Hudson Jackson II says, it's election year in Virginia. We need to ensure that GOP primary candidates publicly condemn these quote-unquote passports in order to get our votes. You know what? Virginia, unfortunately, is in large part controlled by the left because of Northern Virginia. So if you condemn the passports, that's going to help you in some parts of the state, but it won't help you in D.C., which is pretty much Northern Virginia, unfortunately. So I'm not sure how that will really, it'll help you in the red areas, but the blue areas is what win the state. Per Kayla says, when I'm asked if I'm getting the vaccine, I ask them which one, the one that causes blood clots, the one that causes convulsions, or the one that kills you. Wow. Hey, that's a great question, ain't it? Answer that question. How about that? Christy Joyce says, since BLM thirsts for media attention, I wonder if they'll martyrize DMX to obtain more money. No, they'll leave that one alone because they'll say that he was a misogynist and all this and that and the third. They won't really, they don't like black men. They only like black men when they get killed by police. If you're just a black man that dies from a heart attack or something like that, they have no use for you. Thank you to Razor Shop Thoughtfulness, who says vaccine passports are the only the latest excuse for the hypocritical left to have absolute control over and divide the American people. Math Reaction says, I'm at the store as I listen. I see Colin Kaepernick has an ice cream flavor with a T-shirt saying, I know my rights. Hey, man, this whole thing, Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, is big money. Big money. The merchandise, there's so much money in it. It's crazy. So when people say, oh, Kaepernick should be in the league, why? Why would you be playing football at all, regardless of whether you are successful, unsuccessful, or whatever? Why would you play football when you can make so much more money off of the field? Why? You can make more money being an NFL, evacuee, being an NFL castaway or an exile than you can playing the game. Because even if you was playing at a decent level, which you're going to make like $1 million a year, $2 million a year, you might get hurt, like permanently hurt, having an injury that might last you your whole life. Why? Well, you can go off the field and make millions doing nothing. It doesn't make any sense. Shout out to Nicole who says, white woke liberal logic, black folks aren't smart enough to have an ID. Black woke logic, I'm not living in the hood. Radical in the streets, colonizing the sheets. Thank you to Alexander who says, I say, don't defund, but divert in police departments. Reduce the more aggressive weapons that general officers have, but take that money and add it into de-escalation and proper physical restraint. I mean, are you being serious? Like, what is that? Divert where? Aggressive weapons? Like what? What is an aggressive weapon? What is an aggressive weapon? I don't understand. I mean, I understand what you're trying to say. Like, let's try to fix it, but there's not actually a problem with the police. The problem is with the civilians that don't want to act right, and also with the rabble rousers out there just trying to grift, as a cool kid said, to get some money. Creating a problem where there's no problem to try and make money off of it. Black Lives Matter, prime example. Okay, you're creating a problem where there ain't no problem, and you've been able to cash out billions of dollars you're able to cash out by making this whole grift be a thing when it's not really a thing in reality. Thank you to Publius who says, I'm race neutral today and illegal. Now give me my $15,000 so I can go buy some more caliber neutral guns. ABL's a man. Hey, there you go. Thank you for that. Thank you to D-Tech, a prophet who says, that's a great name, Tech the Prophet. Just insane, isn't it? More than quadruple what we got for illegals. Insanity. Exactly. Citizen Shane says, okay, just wanted to say that amazing how requiring ID is racist when it comes to voting, but not when it comes to getting the vaccine passport. There you go. Thank you to Byron8899 who says, have you heard about Hunter Biden's gun incident that happened in October 2018 and that service agents got involved? Yeah. So he like illegally got a gun or something back then in 2018. I think he lied on his form or something like that. I've not looked into it very deeply, but I'm going to look more into that to see what's going on. Thank you to Nicole who says Chicago is a mass shooting. And also, Tommy Robinson says, how many guns do I own? I don't own any guns because, again, I've lost all my guns in a tragic boating accident. I don't have any guns at all. All I got is just my hands and feet. That's all I got. I don't got nothing. I don't even got butter knives, steak knives, nothing, man. I have nothing right now. Shout out to Noel Garcia who says 19,300 gun violence related deaths in 2020 from January to June 2020. 199,000 deaths from cardiovascular diseases. Let's ban potato chips. Great question. Great point. Shout out to OD Red Pill who says illegals coming in, jobs are opening up. There you go. Doug Ripley says, ABL, we want to see you with hair. Got a picture? Hey, I might have a picture, but I can't see that right now. Louis from Spain says, congrats to whoever is having the wedding soon. Oh, and you owe us a show with more family photos. I may do that. Don't even worry about it. Thank you to Radical Moderate who says, it's a number to call still 434. I'll be calling them from 630. That's a number. Tammy F says, a friend of mine got the Johnson vaccine and who looked like he had Parkinson's. Wait. Okay. A friend of mine got the Johnson vaccine and looks like he has Parkinson's now. His right arm is paralyzed. Even went to ICU. No, thank you. Yeah, I don't want that. I was hearing that, not as far as your arm being paralyzed, but I was hearing that people said that their arm was really hurting after the vaccine and they had to recover they had to let their arm recover. It's like, really? Is it that deep? Like, what are they putting in these so-called vaccines? I'd love to know. So, if you're getting the vaccine, the Johnson might not be the wave. I'm just saying, if you're seeing all these shutdowns and crazy complications, that might not be it. I'm not a vaccine guy at all myself personally, but if you're going to get one, to get the J&J might not be the wave right now. But I digress. Let's get to the calls. You guys know what it is. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. I tell you what though, when I had my hair, I never had anything really beyond the low cut. I tried to grow an afro. I tried to get dreads when I was like in ninth grade, but it didn't work. I had like a little. All I had was like nappy hair, but I couldn't really grow anything beyond the really low cut. I guess it's genetics. You seeing guys like these real long braids and stuff. It's like, is that weave? Like, what's going on, sir? I can't grow my hair like that. I've always had a low cut, always, my whole life. From the time I was a little boy up until I started shaving my head bald, low cut all the time. All right, so super chats. I'm done. Let's get to the calls. 434-658-1220. And we're going to get into it. Hopefully Skype wants to work right. That'd be fantastic. If not my fault. Blame the white man. And let's get rocking and rolling here. Let's get everything together. Okay, those look good. Let's do the settings. All righty, 630, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? Caller, can you hear me? All right, I cannot hear you. Maybe it's me, but I'm going to check it out. Okay. Yeah. It might have been me. It might have been my end. Okay, there we go. So it works pretty good. Let's go to the next one. 404, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing, ABL?
Everything straight, man. What's happening?
Ain't nothing. First, I want to ask you, can you hear me, and do you hear any crazy noise going on? I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Oh, everything's good. You good to go?
Appreciate it. I just wanted to say, real quick, I felt like, you know what I'm saying, this might sound a little strange or, you know, corny or whatever, but, you know what I'm saying, it kind of hit my spirit a little bit to kind of, you know, give you some info as far as what's happening, you know what I'm saying, the military and whatnot, as far as this vaccine, since it's, you know, finally declassified to the point where I can say a little something.
Okay.
As far as the vaccine go, just to let you know, over here, you know what I'm saying, in different locations around the world, whatnot, blah, 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 whatever. The main one we mess around with in the military happens to be, you know what I'm saying, the Pfizer one. Johnson & Johnson was considered to be like, you know, something we weren't going to play with. The way that they do things here is pretty much what are you worth? You know, are you ready to get down when it's time to get down? We can't have you, you know, falling out on us. We can't have you getting messed up. We can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't have you out of work. You know, pretty much, you know, long story short. And they actually have to give us numbers and, you know, tell us what's going on with it and whatnot, you know, to kind of keep not only morale up, but to let people know what's going down. Another thing is they was telling us we had a choice, you know, so, you know, I'm with my, you know what I'm saying, my Marine buddies and my, you know, my Navy buddies, you know, and all that. We're in a room together hearing the whole story, blah, blah, blah. And they telling us, you know, we want you guys to get this vaccine and, you know, it's a choice, you know, you can do it if you want to. And, you know, all of us, you know, in the group, we all kind of just looked at each other and just like rolled our eyes. We was like, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? We got a choice, right? Okay, cool, whatever. You know, if this done, if it's mandatory, you know what I'm saying, in the military to get, you know, the flu shot, you telling me I got a choice with this COVID crap, you know what I'm saying, with all this going on? No, dog. You know, they straight lying to us or whatever. That's the way we was looking basically to all of us, you know, in our squad or whatever. So we was like, all right, whatever. So some people said no, some people said yeah. And like all the people that said no, they was getting like messages over and over and over again, right? You know, saying, you know, we're sorry to hear that you don't want to get it and, you know, blah, blah, blah. We really do encourage you to do this, that, and the other. So we was like, okay, we know what's going to go down with this one. So all of us got together again, you know what I'm saying, combination of the Marine, Navy, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? So our squad get together, we started talking, we was like, you know it's going to happen, right? And they was like, yeah, we know it's going to happen. They going to, you know, make us, you know, get it or whatever. So, you know, we all kind of, you know, put our fist in and basically said, all right, guys, y'all want to do this and just go and knock it out. So we all went in and basically knocked it out, you know, so all of us got it. You know what I'm saying? And we find anytime something goes wrong, though, they actually have to tell us. So they tell us whether it's overseas or not. You know what I'm saying? So they let us know what's up. And so far, the percentage has been like so low to non-existent. It's been like a 0.1. No, it was a 0.01%. And they gave us information about it was this female and these two dudes. One dude, he lost like taste altogether for like 4 days. And the female, she went through the same thing. She couldn't taste for like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But the dude, you know what I'm saying, he actually half his body went like numb or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, God, dog, for real? You know what I'm saying? You couldn't feel nothing on half your body? He was like, yeah, but the good thing is everybody recovered fully. But, you know, that still kind of, you know, threw something up in the air. It was like, dang, man, you know, but it wasn't a lot of people, which was good. I'm glad about that. But the main one that we give out, you know what I'm saying, and use is the Pfizer, because like it has the highest percentage of being effective. And this is the main one that has that actually works for us. I'll say it like that. But the one thing I have to say to all civilians, you know, I'm not saying get it, but do what you feel you need to. You know what I'm saying? Exercise your right for real. Like exercise that. If you think you should, go for it. If you don't think you should, you know, seriously exercise the right and say, no, I ain't messing around with that. But, you know, we're in a different boat. You know, we got to do what we got to do, you know, and one extra added bonus, and then I'm going to go ahead and get off, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you got people, and that's this right here. And that's far as like this vaccine passport thing. I was real glad to hear this news, you know what I'm saying, coming from like, you know, higher up chain of command and whatnot. When it comes to the vaccine passport, they already mandated it for us to not do it. You know what I'm saying? That's
Okay.
a 100% no.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Our heads basically told us, no, we're not doing this vaccine passport. It don't make sense, and we cannot give out our, you know what I'm saying, military PII, our personal information, our medical information. None of that is getting out there through a passport system. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, since that's been like declassified too, I can kind of say that. But the good thing is, if you're in the military, you know, there is no such thing as a vaccine passport. We're not doing it. You know, that was a hard no. So I was like, cool, I'm definitely down with that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as getting it, the vaccine, right now they're telling us we got a choice, but I already know where that's going. You know what I'm saying? It's the military. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna basically see what's going down. And at the same time, they're not gonna do this, you know, oh, you know, you got hit with the vaccine and, you know, you got diabetes and you fat.
Right.
You know, first of all, you can't get fat out here, not where I'm at. You know, and if you even look like you getting fat or you not passing your physical, then, you know, it's either give me 20 right now, give me 50 right now. We're going to give you another 50 in a few minutes. You know, in other words, we're going to put your butt back in shape, and you getting out there, you're going to do your job when it's time to do your job. You know, so that's basically how we do that. You know, it's nothing. There is no way you're not doing your job, period. When it's time to get dirty, it's time to get dirty, and you doing it. And that's it. And, you know, my squad is ready. You know, we straight real with it anyway. So, you know, when it's time to do it, it's time to do it. But we also had tents and whatnot set out, you know, where the military is actually giving civilians, you know what I'm saying, depending on where you at. I'm not saying where, but, you know, where you are,
right,
so
I'm with you.
Civilians are getting the vaccine from military personnel. And like I said, the one that we're really mainly messing with is Pfizer. You know, if you want to do anything, that's a personal opinion thing. You know, I'm not going to mess your channel up by saying what's what and blah, blah, blah. But Pfizer is what we're using in the military, blah, blah, blah. I'm out. Have a good one.
Thanks for the call. All righty. So, yeah, no vaccine passport, using Pfizer for the main one. And the Johnson & Johnson got so many problems, so they're not using that one. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much the consensus, right? Don't do the Johnson & Johnson. If you're going to get the vaccine, skip the Johnson & Johnson. Now I'm going to throw you the line I'm speaking to.
Hello, ABL?
Yes, this is me. Who am I speaking to?
This is Tammy from Kansas.
All righty. What's going on?
Oh, I was the one that was just telling you about the Parkinson's affected friend of mine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
Go ahead.
oh my gosh, yeah, I went in their house and he was shaking real bad, and I thought, oh my gosh, does he have something? And I was getting something, and I went outside and I asked his wife, I'm like, what's going on with him? And she said, oh, we got that shot, and he ended up in ICU and went into convulsions and ended up with now I found out his arm was paralyzed after I saw him, and he was shaking like he had Parkinson's, and it freaked me out. I'm like, I am not. No, thank you. I am not getting that shot. And they're telling him that it's not from the shot, of course, you know.
Oh, of course. I mean, but at the same time, if they say that, then what are they telling them? They don't know what's going on?
Yep. They don't know what could have caused it.
So my thing
they're
is,
telling him it's not from the shot.
My thing is, okay, if they don't know what's going on, how can they say what it's not from? It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Thank you. Ridiculous. Anyway, and then my sister is she's a functional medicine nurse practitioner, and she won't get the shot. She says it weakens your immune system. She said she wouldn't be surprised if 10 years down the road, all these people that are, many people that are getting all these vaccinations, it could cause Alzheimer's or who knows what, we'll find out like in a decade from now.
Exactly.
And then, one last thing I think is kind of funny. I deliver mail. I've got like 100-mile route, and I just came from another route. So, I switched routes, but people on both of my routes and people everywhere that around this area anyway, still have like their Trump flags up. No one's taking their Trump flags down in their yards. I think it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I see the same thing around here. People still got them up, and it's like, hey, go ahead. Like I see Obama shirts from 2008 still worn, so why not? Right,
exactly. I got me a Trump flag that says Trump 2024.
There you go.
Anyway, love your show, and I will let you go. I know you got a lot of callers, and I just appreciate listening to you.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye.
All righty. Great call. Yeah, if you still got your Barack Obama shirt and you still wearing that in a grocery store from 2008, well, I'm going to still have my Trump flag up. How about that? Let's call it even. Let's get to the next one here. 586 on the line. Who am I speaking to? Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. 586, hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, turn speakers down for me, please, in the background.
Yeah. How's it going?
Everything's all right. About yourself?
Real good. I've been waiting a long time to call you. I lived out in Detroit for about 10 years during the Obama administration, and I just wanted to know your opinion on a few things out there as far as, I lived in a bando that had, I don't want to creep too many people out, but it had, Planned Parenthood-related things inside. And you couldn't find an abando to live in that didn't have that. People wouldn't live in them because they smelled so bad. You couldn't live in them. I want to know how a society gets to the point where you got streets flooded and filled with garbage, and people killing people every other day. How does it get to that point? Have you ever been to Detroit? Have you ever been? You grew up in the inner city, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I never been to Detroit. But Detroit, I mean, that's a whole different thing there. I mean, people, I think, making a long story short, you have industry in Detroit, and everybody was relying upon the industry. And once the industry started to go away, started to change, started to become less of the dominating force, people began to leave. Those that had the ability to create industry on their own, to create jobs on their own, they left. And those that were still around did not make enough to really maintain the area. They didn't have the knowledge to be able to maintain the area that they lived in. And then that translates down to the students, to the kids, They're not getting educated properly because who's there to educate them properly? So then it becomes a
Yep.
lack of maintenance to the homes, a lack of industry to be able to afford to maintain the homes, a bunch of bandos, abandoned homes left around, and people. Okay, you live in a block where there's a bando right there, bando right there. What's the point in keeping your property up? You can't afford it anyway. Your roof starts to go because that's the first thing that goes. You can't really afford that, and
Yeah, there was only one person on my street that had power on, and the only thing I noticed about Detroit that seemed unfair is they put all the factories in Detroit and make the people work, and we got to take the buses to go to work. But if you want to buy a car, a shiny new Chrysler, you got to go up to 12 Mile where the white people live because they won't put a dealership down in Detroit. There isn't a single Walmart down in Detroit. Look, Google it for yourself. There isn't a Walmart, a big business. Fortune 500s can't go there, but they'll put McDonald's right there because they can purchase them for like 180 grand and make money on them in 3 months. You know what I mean?
yeah. But see, the thing about it is, it's like, why would you put a dealership in an area where people can't afford it?
True.
See? So it's just they'll put something anywhere if they think they can make money. Like you say, they put in McDonald's right there because people can afford dollar hamburgers, but we're talking about cars for like 35,000, and you living in a depressed area. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I mean, it's just something that happens, and then of course, democratic policies. That's also a thing when you start to have high taxes, cost of doing business, everything like that goes up higher. You're not going to be able to keep businesses there. They're going to start to leave and go to where things are cheaper. And it's like a domino effect. That's just kind of how it happens, unfortunately.
Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you very much for your opinions.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Detroit's a sad case, but I think Detroit is going to come back because really it's a good location. Like Detroit was like the jewel of America for a long time. Detroit was like New York City for a long time, so it can come back. But for now, I mean, what industry is going to be there to make it be what it was before? Okay, got to you on deck. Thank you. So yeah, you got to bring it back some kind of way. But what's happening right now is not going to do it. Yeah, the brain drain that happens, people that are talented, people that are skilled, and they leave Detroit, you can't really do too much with that at all. And if you didn't catch what I said about what a bando is a term, it's like a nickname for an abandoned home, bando. And a lot of times you got guys living in abandoned homes, selling drugs out of there, doing all kind of stuff in the bandos. And in Detroit, that's a problem with bandos. You got abandoned homes all over the place, dilapidated, just left, empty structures with nobody to be seen at all for a while. All right, let's get to the next one. 630, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to? Caller, can you hear me, caller? 630. All right, caller. I think you were trying to call in, but it just ain't. Your sound is not on. I don't know what's happening. The Obama phone does not have minutes. I don't know what's happening, but I can't hear you. I'm sorry. The number to call 434-658-1220 is always right there in the ticker. Perfect time. And look at that. 434-658-1220, always right there in the ticker. And that's also always in the description box below. And this particular show you're listening to right now, as all the other ones will be, this will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. A link for that will be in the description box below. All right, Valentine, what's happening?
Anthony, talk to me, man. How you feeling, bro?
Everything's right, man. Can't complain about yourself.
Listen to this, man. Breaking news. Great news coming out of Wokeville. You know, United Airlines, they started putting quotas on the amount of people, colored people, and specifically the pilots that they want to hire from here to 2030. So they have a quota now, right? So they are wokifying the skies, right? Now, believe it or not, I am not making this up. They are also wokifying the menu. They are saying that certain races are restricted to certain drinks. So, for example, white people, they're restricted to wine. Latinos, whether you're Mexican or not, you are restricted to what? Tequila. Black people are restricted to what? Come on, let's play, Anthony. To what black people are restricted to?
Or some malt liquor, the Colt 45.
Stop being racist, Anthony. Stop being racist. They are restricted to Hennessy, man. To Hennessy, man. Hennessy, bro. Come on now, man. Whatever happened to and the woke mob can come after me because I hit all the major races in the United States, right? Whatever happened to being able to joke about other races? You know that joking about people, me cracking on you, you cracking on me, is a sign that I have accepted you into my inner circle. That's a sign that, you know, when you start cracking on people, and we can't do that no more. Like, what happened to that? We like in the 90s, early 2000s, before Obama came in, we were doing that. Comedians were cracking on white people were cracking on black people, everybody was cracking on the Indians and all this, and everybody was cracking on everybody, and now everything's so serious. What happened, bro? Like, seriously.
I mean, people just getting so soft. That's the main thing. People getting soft because
that's facts.
You know, one thing that I noticed about society is that the dads are becoming like disposable. It's not really a big deal. With the rise of feminism and I can do everything on my own and I'm strong. It's like, okay, where's your dad at though? Where's your daddy at? And since there's no dads around, there's no strength. So you're getting raised with all just soft energy. So when you get to be an adult, when you hear any kind of joke that could be somehow offensive or makes you feel bad, you want to go and attack them as some kind of demon, when in reality, you shouldn't be so soft and you'll be all right.
Exactly. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Again, and I've said this before, the fact that the United States of America is such a blessed nation, like we have so much abundance, right? Like for the most part, a lot of people are not worrying about like clothes on their back or food or anything like that. They're worrying about stupidity. They're worrying about being in their mom's basement in boxer shorts and tweeting away at things that they feel offensive because all their necessities, their major necessities, are taken care of. Insanity, but that's the way that we live. Yo, Anthony, I'm catching so much heat, man. I have a TikTok in Spanish. I have a Spanish TikTok which I opened up, and I decided I make the cardinal sin of posting about the $15,600 that illegal immigrants are gonna start getting. That I qualify that as an incentive to continue the illegal immigration in the United States. Again, these are words coming from an immigrant, a legal immigrant. I guess we have to make the distinction there. And it's insanity, Anthony, how a lot of illegal immigrants are not grateful. They're not grateful, man. That bill that passed in New York, they were making hunger strikes and all that stuff. Like you don't have papers. Like you don't have papers and you're going to go to somebody else's country and demand stuff. That's like me going into Anthony's house and be like, yo, I know Anthony drinks tea. I want that tea that Anthony drinks and I'm not paying for it. Like just demanding stuff. Like that's insanity, man.
It is.
What is your thoughts on that? I know you recorded a video, but I didn't hear your thoughts. You think that's incentivizing illegal immigration or what? I mean, and this is, let me put you between a rock and a hard place. The excuse is that, oh, a lot of these immigrants pay taxes. Not all of them pay taxes, but a lot of them do. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, the thing is like, okay, you could be a legal tax-paying citizen, but if you break the law, you still go into jail. It doesn't matter how many taxes I pay. I could pay thousands upon thousands in taxes. If I break the law, like if I go outside and I do something I shouldn't be doing, I get into a traffic accident. Like let's say I go 100 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, I'm getting locked up. I might get reckless driving, but I'm paying all kind of taxes. I'm not drunk. I'm not high. I'm not doing anything, but I am still subject to the law, money or no money, taxes or no taxes. So they can't just say, oh, I paid some taxes. Okay, and you still breaking the law.
Plain and simple. Yo, one guy got biblical on me. And by the way, I'm Christian, guys, right? So one guy brought up Moses and all that. Look at this, the craziness, right? He brought up Moses, saying that Moses in the Bible they were going around in Israel, that they were going around just and taking over all the lands and all that, which that was true, but that was a commandment from God. But he's trying to say that because Moses did it, like we're able to do it today in 2021, which makes no sense whatsoever in at all. Even like if you have a little bit of knowledge of the Bible, in Romans 13, it says that we're supposed to follow the laws, plain and simple, because God put them. And he straight up got biblical on me, like we are in 2000 AD or something. Who knows, bro? I mean, it's just insanity, man. But let's see what happens with that. But Anthony, man, thank you for giving me for picking up the lines on me, man. God bless and enjoy your weekend, my brother.
Thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Always, man. Peace.
All right. Shout out to the Valentine Show on the YouTube. So you can find them right here on the YouTube. I'm gonna put his link right here in the chat so you guys can go check him out. Yeah, excellent call. But it's like, hey, if you're breaking the law, regardless of what, you could say you paying taxes. You didn't build the Taj Mahal. You didn't build Trump Tower by your hands, by yourself. No crew, no scaffolding, no tools. Okay, fine, whatever. Check it out. You're still breaking the law. Right? You still not doing the right thing. They didn't send billionaires to the penitentiary. So El Chapo, that's kind of an extreme example. If you understand what I'm saying, you still have to do things legally, regardless. Period. All right, let's get to some more. Let's go. All righty. Skype caller. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, it's Izzy. Hang on, let me pause my video for a sec. There we go.
All righty.
Right. Sorry about that. I had it on my phone and I was playing the live stream. So I wanted to talk because your subject was about the vaccine, and because I'm Canadian, the province that I live in, Ontario, our premier had just enacted a new stay-at-home order, along with Quebec and Alberta. So this lockdown is happening. If you want to take a guess about how many people are in the ICU, our total provincial population is 14 million. So it's like a little bit bigger than Sweden in our province. And you can take a guess about how many people are in the ICU with COVID in the entire province.
That's a good question. 5,000?
Nope. It's 700.
Wow.
700.
Wow.
And they enacted this draconian lockdown, and they kept there are some certain doctors. One of them was for the Ontario Hospital Association, and he said, well, I'll be getting a bunch of it's basically unionized, okay? And it's the same with the teachers. They were getting together and they wanted, okay, we need to close schools because it's a threat to children. And even though it's not, we have data now that says COVID is not a threat to children. If they get it, they don't suffer really any consequences. And anytime they do find, let's say, a healthy 40-year-old or an athlete, that's big news, and they focus on it. And you would think that for a pandemic, such deaths would just be like reading off a horoscope. It would be so common if there were so many young people dying, kind of like with the Spanish flu. There weren't any big focus on it. They were just reading off a list. And we have two big doctors that I'm going to bring up. One is called David Fisman, and he is one of the heads of the Ontario Science Table, which is run by the University of Toronto. It's one of the biggest or well-known universities in the entire country. So they made up this table, and they said back, because I remember watching it, it's almost like CNN, but it's not. It's called CP24, and they had discussed that back last March in 2020, we would have 150,000 dead. We didn't. We only have not even 30,000 dead, and it's been a year. And nearly all of the deaths have been in long-term care homes. There have been next to none in my age range. I'm 26. There's been next to none in my age range or anything under. So we've had a problem in Ontario for a very long time called hallway medicine. So hospitals tend to be, some of the better ones deal with it better, but the other ones they've cut funding. So they've spent, when this happened, when people were going outside, they were spending millions of dollars on these scare ads, basically arguing, if you go to a party with a dozen people. You're going to go on the ventilator. You're going to die.
Wow.
All the drumming it up. Those ads cost several $1,000,000, and you could have made several hospital beds with that money if there was a problem. It's just not something you prioritize if there are corpses piling up in the hallways. And there was this doctor named Kulvinder Kaur. She's a Sikh. And David Fisman, to get back to him, he called her a white supremacist, that she was hanging around white supremacy when I think her family fled. It might be incorrect, but they fled India when the Sikhs were getting hard pressed, I think, by Muslims. But she's technically a refugee. And she has been saying lockdowns are harmful. A lot of surgeries are getting postponed, and they've canceled heart surgeries and cancer surgeries for 700 people in the ICU across the entire province. And people are just really getting sick of it, because one of the main excuses is that our ICUs are overwhelmed, our LTCs or long-term care homes are overwhelmed. And the problem was, it wasn't as bad as New York with Cuomo shoving COVID patients into long-term care homes. Our long-term care homes were very, very bad, to the point where in Quebec, the military a contingent had to go in, and they said it was so bad. There were cockroaches running on the floors. It was just something you would see in a prisoner of war camp, really. And our premier it was kind of dismissive, and he's kind of holding himself. Oh, I'm so sorry that I have to do this. I'm like, no, you're not. You're 300 pounds. You're lecturing everybody else who have lost their businesses. And I was reading this factoid. It's like 52% of everybody in Ontario, in my province, are near debt. Like, they're in the red. They can't do this anymore. And more people are protesting. They're getting outside. They don't want to do this. And this lockdown is supposed to, quotation marks, end in May. And you know how it goes. Anytime there's seasonality and the virus goes down naturally before it fluctuates, they say, oh, well, the lockdowns did it. Just like New Zealand. No. And it hasn't. They just keep doing this. They just dangle the carrot in front of everybody else, and then they yank it, and then they shove everybody inside. Forced masking and forced mass vaccines. And Canada has proposed vaccine passports, which many have suggested, oh, well, you need to get your papers for polio and meningitis. Well, the difference between polio and meningitis is they are far worse diseases than COVID was. And you don't have to show those documents when you go to a store or open a business. That's between you and your healthcare provider, as it should be. And they have this narrative where if you're skeptical of the vaccine, you're an anti-vaxxer. And I really hate that, because I got all my childhood vaccines. I got my tetanus vaccine before this started. And there's nothing wrong with being skeptical of a rushed vaccine, because if it kills people, then you're really turning off the public off of medicine.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing worse than telling people, oh, it works, it's safe, it's this and that, and then saying, oh, you need special papers or else you can't live normally. That's a threat. That's authoritarian.
It really is. Well, I got a few more calls online. Thank you for your call.
All right.
Definitely
No
appreciate
problem.
you.
Okay.
Wow, great call. Yeah, Ontario and Canada in general, there's a lot going on, huh? But hey, hopefully we don't go down that direction. Hopefully we don't go down the direction of the cosplayer in chief, aka Justin Trudeau. 941, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Isaac. How are you this evening?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain. About yourself?
I'm doing good. It could be better if the situation in America was better, but I'm so glad you answered. I got a couple of questions for you.
All righty.
Okay. Did you happen to see what was going on with the Michigan case? There was some news that came out yesterday on one of the channels, conservative cannabis. with the Bill Bailey and the Matt DePerno case?
I'm not familiar.
Okay, well, it looks like they had made it to where they actually got to go. They're going to go into discovery, so they made it through the initial part of the case to where it was showing that the variances in all 9 counties in Michigan, anywhere from 1% to 25% more voters than registered had voted. And there was an algorithm that they were able to identify that it was actually like a cookie cutter algorithm in every county that was used.
Uh-oh.
There was a video up on YouTube, but YouTube took it down, of course, but it's still out there on Rumble. On Cannabis Conservative is the name of the channel, but it's Bill Bailey, and the attorney is Matt Depernicus, and very interesting what's coming out of Michigan. So
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's concentrating on Arizona, but it looks like we're actually moving in. Once we're in the discovery phase, they're going to get to bring a lot of that information up. It doesn't have anything to do with like people and the people that did the sworn statements. This is just actually dealing with raw data, the voter rolls, the amount of people that were registered to vote, and how more people voted. Like I said, anywhere from 1% to 25%. And there was sorry about the background noise. I went to where I thought it would be quiet.
That's all good.
But yeah, they had actually went to were able to point out that they had more votes in all 9 counties, anywhere from 1% to 25% more than registered voters. So hopefully that case will continue. It's very interesting. I urge people to try to find that. Another thing that I had saw recently was Governor Ron DeSantis did a really interesting YouTube video where he had a lot of lead scientists and doctors, and YouTube took that one down. But he was talking about how the mask might not be necessary with children, and definitely not with athletes. So I'm in Florida, so I find any news of Florida passionate to me. So did you see about Ron DeSantis and how his stuff was removed from YouTube?
Yeah, I did see that. And, the thing about it is YouTube can remove stuff and they can try to censor him. But, I mean, people are going to Florida in droves. So, obviously, what YouTube is doing is not really working. People see that what DeSantis is doing is working. Okay, don't have any mask mandates by the state. If you have a business, you want to do what you want, that's one thing, but no state mandates. And they're doing pretty well. They're doing well. So I think people can just, they can get past all the tech censorship and see what the actual results on the ground are for their own 2 eyes.
Absolutely. And we are doing well in Florida. I'm born and raised in Florida, 54 years old. They put a lot of negative things about Publix. But what a lot of people aren't aware of is that Publix, their very first store was in Lakeland, Florida. George Jenkins, the founder of Publix, I even went to school with his son. But the first store started in Florida. So it would make sense that they would go to Florida, to Publix, because that is, they wouldn't be who they were if it wasn't for the Floridians. So that's a false narrative that CBS is spinning about how Publix is paying off Ron DeSantis. I actually went out the day that they ran their first article and took a picture of myself with the newspaper when they said that he was giving it only to the people that were rich in Florida in a lower income area at a Publix, and CBS refused to respond to my emails.
Wow.
Yeah, so definitely some negative information about Florida. It is definitely, we are very lucky to have the team that we have here. And I don't think people need to be as afraid as what they want you to be. That is just a way to control us. That, the information's out there. You got to use like DuckDuckGo, get away from Google, because then you'll only find what they want you to know. But you got to go outside the box and do a little work. But shows like you and some of the other ones that I've been watching, we really appreciate the fact that you're trying to wake up the woke people and the people that are clueless because they're only watching big media.
Right. No doubt, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
No, appreciate you. Keep up the good work. Prayers. Everybody pray and keep up hope. So, and that was conservative, cannabis conservative is where the Bill Bailey case was from Michigan.
That's man. Thank you. Appreciate
It's
you.
on Rumble.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good day. Bye.
All right. Let's get to the next one here. Number to call 434-658-1220. 215, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how was it?
Going pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Good, everything's good. Back to what they said about back to what one of your callers said earlier. She was talking about the lockdowns over in Canada, and I remember earlier in the summer of 2020, I was watching Brandon Tatum's channel, and he made a video on how Germany was protesting. They were doing an anti-lockdown protest, and now the UK, they're doing an anti-lockdown protest, and but you don't see that on the mainstream media.
Oh no, of course
hardly
not.
Ever.
You're not going to see it there because they don't want you to know that people don't like this all around the world. It's not just they want to say, oh, it's just Trump supporters, all this and that. It's everybody. Nobody wants to be locked up in their home for not committing a crime. It's kind of silly.
Exactly, and then come to find out, what was another thing? Oh yeah, I remember that time you did a live stream with Bryson Gray, Brandon Tatum, and you. And did you ever? I remember you guys ever read that super chat, because that was me. I was the one sending that super chat of when did Obama send money to the Wuhan lab, or did he ever? But I might have to look deep into that, do some research, like look deep into it, because I don't really trust Google, but I'll probably use them, Yahoo or whatever I can use.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with that situation, but if he did, I wouldn't be surprised. I won't be surprised at all.
Yeah, because see me. Like I said, when I was listening to Bryson's song, I was like, did Obama actually send it to the Wuhan lab? And then I heard it on Fox News. So now I was like, I'm going to research it. But like you said, I'm not surprised if he did it. I'm not 100% sure if it happened. Like when he said the COVID-19 on Fox News, Steve Hilton said COVID-19 was created here in the United States in 2015 under Obama. Then it was shipped. It was created by Dr. Fauci and a few other scientists. From what I've heard, I don't know how true it is. Then it was sent to the Wuhan lab back in 2015 after Fauci got a phone call from Obama saying, get that out of this country. So they had a military escort to the Wuhan lab. And then right before the outbreak happened, a lot of people were evacuated from Wuhan right before the outbreak happened.
Yeah, see, I don't know nothing.
Yep.
I'm that's not really something I know a lot about, but I don't doubt it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because honestly, with China with their numbers, I don't trust it. I never trusted it, honestly. And then with this whole thing from New Zealand, that's another thing I'm going to look into. When New Zealand said they locked down and they got rid of the virus and it's over, and New Zealand's over the pandemic, I'm like, I want to look into that to see exactly how true that is, because I know these lockdowns aren't working. You see what's happening in California, New York.
Well, see,
and all other places.
I think New Zealand is just a small place. It's like 5 million people. It's a small country, and it's isolated in the middle of nowhere, an island. So, and I think they're really strict when it comes to the lockdowns. They could have one person with the virus, and they want to lock the whole country down. It's just really crazy over there.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a smaller country, so it's not like the U.S.
Not at all. There's 4.9 million people. I mean, you got more than that in like Virginia. I mean, and then also, like I said, it's an island, isolated, middle of nowhere.
Oh, well then that's nothing anyway.
Right.
But yeah, and then now with the gas prices going up and Biden, because I know a few people in the National Guard, they said they're going overseas. They're sending PA National Guards overseas to like Kuwait, Syria, and all that other stuff. And a lot of the people from the National Guard, this one girl I talked to, she said she doesn't know why she's going over there to Kuwait and all that stuff. I said, I got a feeling. I think I know why you're going over there.
Yeah.
Me and my coworkers, we were joking. Yeah, for that special oil and all that stuff. That's what it is. That's why y'all going over there.
I mean, it's not for no reason. It's not just just to be doing it. Now, there's definitely a reason she's going over there. Hopefully, you're not going to be involved in any kind of new conflicts. But you got a new administration. They didn't spend a little bit more money in the military budget and the defense budget. So there could be some action happening because they don't want the Keystone XL pipeline. So, okay, where you gonna get the oil? How you gonna be able to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the Keystone XL pipeline was actually honestly safer because you remember all the oil spills, train derailments, gasoline trucks getting into accidents. Those were more harmful, especially the train derailments. I remember in the 90s, the late and early 90s, there was so many train derailments, especially those containers. I mean, geez, you see when one explodes, it destroys the entire environment and everything that's around it. That's just one car. Now, you got to remember, you're hauling out hundreds of those.
Exactly. And then the thing about it is the trains, they run right by like riverbeds. So if one of those trains crashes, the capsize and whatever they spill into the river is right there versus a pipeline where it's just like the ground. It's easier to clean it up. You're not gonna have to kind of you won't have a big fiery explosion the same way it'd happen if you had a train that derails and crashes.
Yeah, and like all the shipwrecks that happened and all the oils that spills and a lot of you ever see those freight ships that sink and then all the stuff that just gets into the water.
Oh yeah,
vehicles,
they had
cars,
Exxon Valdez, all that stuff. Yeah, it was crazy.
And did you hear over in Baltimore, Maryland, a freight ship they just made a cocaine bus, a few $1 million cocaine bus from a freight yard, like it was like a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going on all over the place.
And one more thing, ABL.
Quickly, please.
Crime. Oh yeah, sorry. The crime rate. I live near Philadelphia. The crime rate is just really going up. And it's not. I'm not surprised because after Black Lives Matter hit the whole defund the police movement, and then after they left, and the crime rate shoots up, and more dope fiends. It's just a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of homeless people. Philly's a mess. But I'll talk to you next time, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bye.
Yeah, man. I've seen some videos from Philly with a lot of the dope fiends out there. What they say, like in Kensington, that's one place where it's like always been kind of wild. But from what I know about Kensington, about Philly in general, is that it's been a decline. You know, people could say, "Oh, it's always been really bad in that one area," but it's one thing to be bad consistently. It's different to be bad and then get worse, and that's a problem. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, let's do. Excuse me. Skype caller, can you hear me?
Oh, hey, ABL, what's up, buddy?
Everything's all right, man. What's happening?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just trying to stay dry, wet here.
No doubt.
Hey, first of all, I want to say RIP to the dog, DMX. Okay, so really.
Yeah, RIP DMX. That's really, really, really unfortunate. What happened? 50 years old. Really unfortunate.
Yeah. Especially for my generation. I'm 47, so he meant a lot to people my age.
Right.
And moving on, a great point by Valentine earlier tonight about different races of people or different backgrounds and whatnot, kicking it with each other and cracking on each other. That needs to continue. Being afraid to touch on other subjects with other people. I mean, you're just not treating them like a person if that's the case,
Right, exactly. Like I was saying, it's like people gotten too soft. Everything is so offensive. People just melt down at the smallest thing. And it's like you can't survive like that in the world in general.
No, if you can't dig on each other a little bit, I mean, you ain't even, you ain't even being human. So
that's right.
But real quick, last week I called in and I wasn't really trying to condone a whole, I was trying to tip people off a little bit about IDs and how, just in my experience, different with Hondurans and some fellows from Central America, how they get their IDs, and everybody got, kind of upset with me. Some people wish that I lose my job and this and that. But what's interesting is I'm actually involved in a project right now, kind of like a streamlining a corporation up here in Southern Ohio, and I'm watching white and Black Americans being replaced by Haitians. And then in the last 3 months, now I'm watching Haitians be replaced by other Haitians.
Wow.
Yeah, so all to say $5 an hour, basically in like a parts inspection, quality stuff like that. inside the metal corporations. So, and these are for big industries, you know, satellite companies to big industries. So it's not just all the people that's jumping the border, but people got to quit being mad and be Americans. Don't be mad because these people got skills and they, you know, they can do more than just run a phone. So keep that in mind, you know, teach your kids, teach your boys how to weld, how to cut, how to measure, how to saw, teach your girls too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's one thing about it. A lot of these illegal aliens or recent immigrants or visa workers, they have the skills. So they're coming in and they're doing these skilled trades. And then you got Americans a lot of times don't have these skills. So it's like, all right, we need to just have the skills and have these industries in our hands rather than just letting them float out there to anybody that wants to come in and take it that has any kind of skill.
That's it. I mean, if you can't compete, then you know what I mean, there's no reason getting on the floor. So, but yeah, we got to get our kids' skills up. I mean, think what your grandparents, what their skill set was compared to ours. They probably knew how to do more things. Yeah, I mean, we can Google, we can Skype, we can do all that, but I bet grandma and grandpa probably knew a whole lot more. You know, I know in my case it was. I wish I was a half the man my grandpa was, and I ain't bad, but you know what I mean, he was something else.
That's right. Absolutely. Same thing with my great grandfather. He built 2 houses in West Virginia back in like the 60s that still stand to this day, like right now. So you got to get back to that for sure.
Yeah, they were smart enough to just go ahead and build themselves and say, forget, you know, all that mortgage payment. You know, we don't need that. You can stack money when you don't have a mortgage payment. They was smart. Just build it.
That's right.
But yeah. Okay. All right, ABL. Hey, stay up, buddy.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like my great grandfather in West Virginia. So this is why when people talk about racism and stuff like that, it's like my great grandfather was born in the 1900s. I'm talking like my great grandmother was born in 1908. And I knew them. My great grandmother passed when I was 95 and I was like in college. So I knew her all throughout my whole childhood. I'd be out there all the time. My great grandfather died when I was like 10. And he was in his late 80s. He did coal mining and everything else. And he built 2 houses with a 3rd grade education by himself with just reading books. He knew how to read. That's all he needed. He had skills, knew how to read, built 2 houses, and they still stand right now in 2021, both of them. My grandma lives in one, and my uncle lives in the other one. Her brother lives in the other one. So, I mean, that's how you do it. In West Virginia, in the so-called racist time, all this and that. And people talk about, they make excuses for why they're not doing well, talking about, oh, this is holding me back. I'm oppressed. There's racism. Anybody trying to hear that? Not at all. If my great-grandfather can be a black man in West Virginia, built 2 houses with little education, just with books by himself, raising multiple kids, grandkids, everything else in there. I lived in there for a while in the summertime, great-grandkids in there. Then what are we complaining about? Why can't we do things on our own? But I digress. All right, you're on the line, 657. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, can you hear me?
I can hear you well. What's going on?
Okay. This is Brother Shane. What's up, man?
Everything's all right?
All right. I've been really enjoying some of the videos you did recently, just the last couple where you talked about Governor Cuomo giving $15,600 to illegals. And then the very next day you published a video about Tucker Carlson broadcasting the replacement theory and how Don Lemon responded to that. And I was wondering if you see the connection between those 2 things.
Between what now? What was the first video?
Sure. The Governor Cuomo, New York State, giving thousands and thousands of dollars to people who shouldn't be here.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I made the connection in the video. I was like, okay, they want to replace Americans with these illegal aliens, and they're paying them to do so. It's like, okay, look, the Americans, they become too fat, too lazy, unskilled. Let's go ahead and get you guys in here, and we'll give you incentives to come here. We're trying to actively do it. That's what it seems like to me.
Right. And that's absolutely, they're being bribed basically to invade our country. Wonderful, right? And that's absolutely one of the connections. But I think there's another one we haven't talked about yet. And that is that in the March stimulus bill, 1.9 trillion, there were billions and billions of that were allocated to states. According to New York Post, 195 billion specifically allocated to states with no strings attached. And these are overwhelmingly, because it's based on their financial situation, they're overwhelmingly going to be allocated to states who failed in their COVID response, shut down businesses, punished citizens for walking around without masks, allowed riots to happen all summer, allowed the productive members of society to be punished and to have their lives razed to the ground. And so the connection I'm seeing here is effectively what New York is doing. That basically makes it so me, you, everybody listening to this right now, we're all paying New York to give money to illegal aliens. That's the connection I'm seeing with this.
Okay. Yeah. I see that connection.
And yeah. And so, I mean, my question is, when are we going to do something about this, and what is that going to be? Because I thought it was a little bit interesting. Last time I super chatted you, I had a comment about how your constitution doesn't matter when there's 5 Hispanics to replace you. And you called me an anarchist when I said that.
And
but
you
Tucker
are.
Carlson says it. I am. Okay, so is Tucker Carlson an anarchist for saying exactly the same thing?
He didn't say that.
Yeah, he said that our constituency needs to be replaced to nullify, specifically the word that he used was to devalue our votes, right? So our votes, their power, it gets diluted. That's the word he used.
Okay.
So how is that any different from saying democracy isn't going to solve our problem when we are replaced, our votes are replaced, our voice becomes diminished, and the people who are doing it, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they're not going to change their minds.
You changed what you said. First, you said, if you can't get if the demographics change, then what we have is a constitution. That doesn't matter. That becomes relevant. Now you're saying, well, if the demographics change, then you're going to have other things that change that make it difficult. So it's like the constitution, that matters all the time, regardless of what's going on. We still got to abide by that. But at the same time,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, go
so
ahead.
So you agree with me on that. So we're cool on that one. But like what you're saying, as far as being replaced, I mean that can be stopped, but it can't just be this whole thing of. Well, I think I've already answered the question before on the last one, but I answer it one more time. You just got to vote. You got to do things right, and if voting is not what you feel like you want to do, then get involved yourself in a legal way. Because what you want to do is just like go to arms and try to fight, but that ain't gonna do nothing. All you're gonna do is end up getting locked up for no reason, unnecessarily. Okay, and then on top of that, it won't even stop it. That'll just be used as cannon fodder in the cultural war to push forward the illegal immigration movement. The same thing as the whole thing on January did in the Capitol. That's being used as ammunition against us, so it won't make a difference.
So that's really funny, because when you were talking about Roland Martin and King Randall, that young man who wanted to start the school for free and was challenging the idea that Black Americans need the government to do everything for them, your exact words were, when you're talking about voting and whatnot, what's that going to do for Baltimore? We've been voting how you wanted us to vote, Mr. Martin, so what do we do from there? So when it comes to a Democrat proposing voting as the solution, they're a fool, they're ridiculous, and they're on the plantation. But when it comes to voting for Republicans, that's going to solve everything. Do you see the problem with that?
That was a nice try. That was a nice try. But see, here's the thing about it, though. I said, wait, sir. I said, let's go through legal means. Now, when it comes to Baltimore, when it comes to Albany, Georgia, where King Randall lives, if you're voting a certain way and things aren't improving, you can do things on your own legally that can fix it. All right, if the education's not good here, how about I educate kids? How about I do the work in the community necessary to be able to get these kids on the right path, teach them skills, teach them trades. That's how you do it. I'm not saying go and pull a gun out and start, wilding out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying do things on your own. Wait. I'm not saying nothing that you are. All I'm saying is you can do things on your own without having to rely upon the government. However, you still must be lawful. That's my point there.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you. My question is, how lawful were the founding fathers when they declared independence?
So now you're moving the goalposts. Now you're moving the goalposts, because I said, wait, sir. Sir, wait. I was saying, What I was talking about was being lawful. So my point is not what you're making. My point is something different. Now you're talking about something else. You're talking about the founding fathers. So go ahead.
So okay, so were the founding fathers anarchists? Like I apparently am? What's the difference?
Well, okay. Now here's the thing about that. They wanted independence, and it was a thing that was accepted all throughout. Like it was a thing that was a widespread ideology. They were already pretty much autonomous. Wait, sir. Wait. They were already pretty much autonomous, operating on their own. The Kingdom of Great Britain was far away, didn't really interact. They wanted to have independence for their particular place. It wasn't just this whole thing of, okay, we're going to go out there and just hurt people or do something like that. As a matter of fact, aren't you anti-government? See, the founding fathers founded the government, didn't they? So what would you do?
They didn't found this government with the Federal Reserve Bank and international.
Wait, sir. The question was, the question was, didn't they found the government?
I said anarchy today, fascism tomorrow.
Sir, not listening, sir. Not listening to the question.
It starts with that.
Sir. See, look, the question was, did they found the government? It's a yes or no question.
Yeah. But
all right then. So,
exactly the form it
my next question is, what do you propose?
I propose whatever works. I have a couple different ideas. Do you have time for me to lay down my entire theory?
Not really. Just give me like the Cliff Notes version, 30 seconds, please.
Okay, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, by the way. I believe in a system wherein the primary concept is that liberty begins with economic liberty. Economic liberty is the foundation for every other liberty. And the reason for that, it's first principles. If you don't own, you have to own yourself before you can own anything else. Now, I believe that the representative government form that we have now, it made sense back then because you didn't have instant communications, but we have instant communications now. And at this point in time, the people who are going off to supposedly represent you, first of all, we have all of this multiculturalism conflict going on.
You get kind of long-winded. I got like no more time. So like button it up right quick.
Okay. We have to start at zero, and the founding fathers didn't know exactly the form the government would take when they declared independence either. You had the Articles of Confederation first, and now you have the existing, Constitution that we have now. And I believe that relying upon voting is distracting from the preparations we need to make for the financial collapse that will probably happen in the next 5 years. And that's what we should be focusing on. And that's really all I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming from on all of this. It's important that we accept that the system isn't sustainable anymore before we can move on and to answer all those questions about the government and what form the society will take. But I really appreciate your time tonight, and you've been killing it on the videos, as you always do.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, take care.
All right. Yeah, shout out to the caller. That was a nice trying to get me kind of like jammed up, but I was already thinking ahead of what he was saying. But the thing is, one thing about it, if you want to engage in a movement of sorts, you got to have support. It can't just be you thinking, okay, I want to do this. Where's your support? What? And then all you're going to do with that kind of mindset, if you don't have support, is just get locked up. You got to have the support of a lot of people that want to do a thing, and you got to have a plan. And if you want anarchy, that's not really going to work in America. It's just not going to go down. I'm not really sure where anarchy works except for like very, very, very small population. Even in like third world countries or like kind of like primitive cultures, you still have some sort of governance, even if it's not like go to jail, court, all that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? But I digress. All right. But yeah, my point about King Randall before I move on to the next caller is if you live in a place like Baltimore, Maryland, you go into the schools, kids can't read, and you're sitting there waiting for the government to make the education better, but you have an ability to make the education better, why don't you do it? If people in charge aren't doing the good thing and nobody likes them, but 5 people vote for them all the time and they get in there, why don't you run? Why don't you, we got to become more involved with our communities rather than just waiting on the just outside forces to run communities for us. That's what my man said earlier about having skills, about being able to work with your hands. Be able to go out there and build stuff. Be able to go out there and do stuff on your own rather than calling somebody to do everything for you. We got to the point now where people can't even boil water no more. It's like, how you going to be able to survive when things kind of fall apart? But I digress. All right, let's get to the next one here. 804, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, man, this is Mike. How's it going?
Everything's right. How about yourself?
Hey, good, good. Hey, I wanted to talk about some things that Biden had recently said about the infrastructure. One thing he said that was we're going to see more technology in the next 10 years than we have in the last 50 years. And you know, I believe him. I think, you know, there's some crazy stuff that they've been working on for years that's coming. And he's talked about the internet, and he said that the internet was infrastructure. And you know, I believe him.
I don't know what happened. It wasn't me. It's the phone. The line cut off. I'm not really sure what happened, but it's not my fault. We gotta blame the white man. All right, let's get to the next one here. 423, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how you doing? This is Garrett.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty well, man. Can't complain.
I love watching you. I had a question. So I served in the military, and you have a lot of fools talking about nonsense like go to war, and I don't think they've ever been there and done that. But my question is, I never recognized race as even a factor. You never even considered what the skin color of the person was beside you. But do you feel like the publicity of what it is today increases the consideration of race in today's environment?
Like, you mean you're talking about like the media, how they cover it so much and they harp on it all the time? Is that what's causing the focus on race?
All of it.
Yeah, definitely.
All of it.
Because
I never even thought about it.
Yeah,
but today they want
a lot of people that get media attention, that get coverage. They are the minority. And I think it's kind of a hustle, really, because like I was saying earlier about Black Lives Matter, you got this lady and her brother's wife, whatever you want to call that person that she's married to. They got them talking about how bad the white man is and racism this and racism that, yet they live in a 99.999% white area up in the LA Hills. So what is it really about? Is it about a true grievance? Is it about a real problem that they have? Or is it about just trying to make money off of guilty people that feel like they are too far ahead in their life? Therefore, it must be because they're white and they're privileged. You just kind of cater to that crowd and also cater to those that feel like they're resentful. You create resentment and you capitalize off of guilt, and it's a way to make money. That's all. So it's not a real thing, but people, they push it to make money for themselves. So then it becomes a thing in society. It's really a shame.
I think you hit it on the head, man. I love listening to you and everything you talk about. And I like I said, I have military service and I have wartime service, and I hate to even think about the fact that our country is divided because of someone's color of their skin. But I feel like what's happening today is pushing it to be something that we all look at, and it shouldn't be something we look at. Let's look at somebody's merits, what they do, what they achieve, what they aspire to achieve.
Right. Exactly. That's what it should be about.
Well, I really thank you for taking my call, and keep on, man. You do a great job, and I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Have a good day.
That's a great call. Fantastic call. Yeah, they're just trying to get money. They don't care that they create so much damage and so much strife in the world. They don't really care about that. It's all about them. It's just a selfish type of thing. But that's what's happening nowadays, unfortunately. All right, let me get to some more here. 228, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, this is Valerie. How are you tonight?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing good. Look, what I called up to say was this. There's a big thing that people aren't thinking about, they're overlooking or something, but it's insidious. It's insidious, and it's happening. And I think I've called and said this to you before. It's the place where the abortion clinics are. They're only in Black neighborhoods or Hispanic neighborhoods. You won't find them in white neighborhoods. And that's not an accident. That's not by accident. And if you check the 2020 census that we just went through, the Black population is going down, and the Hispanics better pay attention too, because they're on the target list too. And it's not by accident, and nobody's even talking about it or thinking about it. It hasn't entered their mind. But you just think about it. Think about it.
Yeah.
You know, what's your opinion on that?
I think it's definitely done on purpose because they want to reduce certain populations. They feel like we can't.
They don't want to reduce. They want to eliminate. You ever heard of somebody called Margaret Sanger?
Absolutely.
Okay, guess who planned Margaret Sanger? Who is the founder of Planned Parenthood?
That's Margaret Sanger.
Margaret Sanger.
Yeah.
Yes. And did you ever read her book? I did. What she said inferior races, the weeds of humanity. That's what she called all races except the white race. And she wanted to eliminate them. She didn't want to reduce them. She wanted to eliminate them. And she even laid out a plan of how to do it. And the plan is to put the clinics where they were, where the people were. And it's working, believe me. Check out your 2020, the 2020 thing. You'll see the Black population has decreased. And it keeps going down.
Right.
And the Hispanic people better pay attention too, because they're on the menu also.
As far as people that's been here, like people that are born in America, but not the illegal aliens.
They're on the chopping block too. Believe me, they are. But right now, they're. You know why they're bringing them in? Because the Black population is decreasing, and they need people to do the jobs that Black people have been doing for years that they don't want to do anymore, like bring in the crops and different, clean the hotel rooms and all that kind of stuff. That used to be, to tell the truth, that used to be Black people that did those jobs.
Yep.
But there are not that many Black people who want to do those jobs or that will do those jobs. So they have to bring in people who will do it. But they're on the chopping block too. Believe me, they are. And there's Planned Parenthood in Mexico too. Yes, there is. There's Planned Parenthood clinics all around the world. They're not just in this country. Planned Parenthood clinics are around the world, except that they're not in Muslim countries.
Oh, of course not.
And that's the truth.
Right.
That is the truth, and what's your opinion on that, what I said? Am I just being crazy, or is that something people should think about?
Nah, I mean, you're right on point. You're accurate. People should think about that. They most certainly should.
Yeah, that's all I had to say. And you have a good night.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, she was right about that. A lot of those jobs, like field jobs and stuff like that, that was Black stuff. Sharecropping and all of that was Blacks. And even Barack Obama said it. What did he say? Fruit pickers and bed makers. This is what he said. He said the Hispanics that come over, they're fruit pickers and bed makers. That's what he said, not my words. I would never say something like that. Barack Obama said that when he was a president. He said that, not back in his senator days or in Hawaii or something. That's what it was. So then, now you got a lot of Black folks in inner cities, away from their farms, and they working in city jobs, government jobs, or government assistance, or they've come up, they've gotten away from the field, they're in the military, they got businesses, they're doing big things. Okay, now rather than having black folks do those jobs, we'll have the illegal aliens and pay them less. That's one of the main things. That's one of the main things they want to do is it's a money thing. You have blacks and whites that do those jobs right now, but how much do you got to get paid to do those jobs? That's the question. If you're here illegally, you can kind of get taken advantage of, or you'll happily get paid less money because you operate differently than an American citizen would operate. But that's a different story. So I digress. All right. 914, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Or you'll be. Hey, ABL. This is Anthony from New York.
Oh, great name, man. What's going on?
I'm just chilling. Just got off of work, doing the weekend thing, working at a hospital. A long time watcher, and I just got a couple things I wanted to tell you. First off, basically, I'm not really a political person. This is the only time I've ever been political during this the campaign with not the campaign that went with Biden and Trump. And this was literally the only year where I was actually political, so I'm kind of new to this game. But I could tell you, as working at the hospital and being a traveler, because what I do is I travel from state to state, working in different hospitals. And I traveled from New York all the way to California to do a contract. And on my way to California, I drove through so many different states. And I know you're not supposed to say like the F thing on YouTube, but I didn't see a single sign going to California for Joe Biden on the way there, all the way from New York.
Wow!
Not a single sign from New York, Queens to Sacramento, California.
Wow.
I didn't see a single sign. And I know you're not supposed to be talking about none of this, but that triggered something in me. Like what? Like, is this for real? Like, how could you possibly? Can't people use their brains, common sense? Like, what's going on here? Like, there's not a single sign. And one more other thing I wanted to tell you, because I know you got a lot of calls. I'm working in Massachusetts right now, in Boston. Or should I say Salem? And a couple people got the vaccine at my job. And I just wanted to let you know some of the symptoms that I saw. One of my coworkers, it's crazy. He ended up getting the shot, and the next day, it was the second shot. I believe it was I think that's the Pfizer. And he got the second shot, and where I'm working with him, and then all of a sudden he just says, my hands feel numb. And what we do is we help prepare surgeries. And he ended up dropping the instruments on the floor, like his hands just went numb.
Wow! And
he just dropped on the floor. So we brought him out of the it's called decontam, where all the dirty instruments come down from the operating room. We brought him out of decontam. He sat him down, and we took off his called the bouffets that they wear on the heads. That we wear on the heads at the hospital. And on the back of his head, there was a big lump. Like, and he didn't have this before. He did not have this before. And that was just one of the symptoms that we saw. There was another one where a tech ended up an OR tech got the vaccine. And this was during the second dosage. The dude was in the operating room, and all of a sudden he just started pouring sweat. And he ended up running out of the operating room. Like, and I haven't seen the dude since. But these are just things I wanted to share with you. And during this whole beginning of this COVID thing, I was nervous, but I'm not nervous about it anymore. And working at the hospital as well, I see like there's only like 2 cases a day now,
right?
If that, or 1 case a day of this. So, and it's funny, like I don't be hearing about it no more as well. Like I don't hear nothing about it, not the way I used to. I remember early on it was nonstop, and now silence. So I don't know. I just want to say I love what you do. I'm a frequent watcher, and keep doing your thing. I'm gonna go and enjoy some pizza with some extra Parmesan like Hunter.
There you go.
All right, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great call. Straight from the front lines. Fantastic call. Love it. Hey, not really a big issue. It's not really a big issue anymore. Now, I'm no doctor. I can't just say stuff and have it just be so, but maybe we've reached herd immunity before the vaccine rolled out. Just maybe. But I don't know that. I can't say that for sure because I'm no doctor, right? I can't give you that kind of assertion, but I'll move on. 602, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Lena?
All righty. What's going on?
Hey, Anthony. Actually, this is Debbie from Arizona.
All right.
I'm okay. And you?
Can't complain.
Okay. What I have to ask is, do you believe that this is good versus evil?
What do you mean? As far as like this Democrat, Republican, left, right, that type of thing?
Yeah, and the independents, and even some of the Democrats. I mean, I know some of the Republicans are rhinos, but don't turn it off. He can't hear me then. Because it's really getting interesting on things like Report X22 and all that stuff. I mean, they're still saying that Trump's letting it get as bad as it can and that he's going to be back. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know about that part. I mean, I think Trump can only do what he can do under the limits of the law. So I don't really know too much about that part. But hopefully, you know, if it's not Trump that runs again in 2024, hopefully it'll be somebody like Ron DeSantis, somebody that can come in and get everything back on track as far as the federal level.
You know, but basically what they're trying to do is basically kill Americans off and bring in all illegal aliens so that they can take control of the world, basically, with China. I'm sorry, but I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that Obama, when he sent that $1.5 billion to Wuhan, I believe that he was trying to help make this happen. And Joe Biden is just, you know, he's a puppet. That's all he is for Kamala and for Obama and for everybody else. Nancy and Chuck and Maxine Waters and all of them. But that's beside the point. You know, I just want the United States to stay free. How are we going to do that without a war? How do we all get together? We can't do it on social media anymore unless Trump hurries up and gets his out, because they'll cut us off and they won't let us do anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really know too much. I hopefully we can, you know, just have some things happen on a local level that'll go to a federal level and we get things back the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. But the Supreme Court is, you know, they're saying that Amy Coney Barrett's an Illuminati, you know, and it's like, oh, give me a break. You know, I thought she was supposed to be a Christian.
Right. Yeah.
And it's getting crazy. And it's like, I don't want to leave communism for my kids or my grandkids or my great grandkids.
I hear you.
So how do we do it, Anthony? Tell me, please. How do we get together as people and make groups so that we can get up there as we the people? You know, we're saying, you know, we're your bosses. You need to listen to us, whether it's through a fence or not. And you need to listen to us because we're the bosses and you're all fired. Why can't we do that?
I mean, we can, but it takes all of us to just make that decision on our own. We just got to do it on our
I
own.
know. That's what I'm saying. We all got to get together. I heard about a bunch of little groups getting together, but it's like, we need a lot of groups. I'm an old lady, like I told you before. I call you a lot, and whenever I can. And it's like, I was, if I have to, for my kids and my grandkids and my great grandkids, yes, I would fight. But I know that's not what God wants.
No doubt.
So I thought, because you're such a smart man, you would have a plan on what we should do. How do we get together without the social media?
We're gonna have social media, even if it's not the big ones. We're gonna have our own. I say just don't try to rush these things, but just keep it going. It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a consistent battle. It won't just be something that happens overnight. We got to just keep on going, because on their side, they lost in 2016. They kept on going. They didn't stop. We got to do the same thing on our side. It's going to be a never-ending thing, but I think at the end of it, good will overcome evil. That's going to be the end of it all, but it's not going to be an easy road to get there. So I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
What they said on another one of the, because I don't even watch news. I only watch all of you guys. And another one I watched said that, they're going to keep going until, they, what they're doing is working with Satan, basically.
I got
like you said, or good versus evil. And it's like, Satan's powerful because people want to be all dancing in the streets and acting stupid and killing people and shit like that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And stuff like that. But, there should be more of us, right?
Yeah, there is more of us. I think at the end of it, we'll win. I'm sorry I got to cut you right here, but I got a few more calls in line I want to get to. Thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you so much, Anthony. You have a good evening with your wife.
All right. Thank you. All right. Shout out to all the callers calling in. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. Yeah. All right. Let's get to some more here. 575 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Ty. How's it going, ABL?
All right. Everything's all right about yourself?
Yeah, I'm just calling about these vaccines and everything. Do you think that the Democrats are just pot committed and they just can't fold now because they have so much into the pot?
Maybe so. There could be a greater plan here. There could be a lot of things that they want to do that they've already planned for with this whole vaccine. They could just be part of it. I don't really know. That's a good question, but I think I do think that
the conspiracy part of this conspiracy side of it's really. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I do think that they have already kind of planned what they're going to do. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean the conspiracy side of it's always fun and everything, but then probably the more logical thing I always think is that they're just so pot committed and there's just so much money on the line by now.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for sure. That's definitely a big part of it. A lot of money.
Yeah, I feel like that's really what all these elections are all about now. Who gets to benefit off the contracts?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, well, that's all I really had to say. I enjoyed your show.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Let's get to some more here. Let's go. 720, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony. How's it going?
Everything's right about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. This is the first time caller.
Alrighty. So what's on your mind?
I don't want to disclose where I live or I live in Wisconsin, and I have. Oh my gosh, it's just terrible where I work at. It's a really if I disclose where I work at, everybody will know.
Yeah, let's not do that. Just so what's happening at your workplace? Is it kind of like a woke workplace? What's going on?
I have experienced a lot of racism, especially in the Black community. People who are half kids who are like, because I do work amongst young kids who are like half white and half Black. And today it was just terrible. I witnessed a Black lady, yelling at this girl. She must be like 16, 17. She was a cashier, and she's half Black and half white. She has dreads, or not dreads, but I'm sorry. She has like braids and stuff. She's really pretty, but you can tell she's like mixed. I've noticed that there is a lot of racism going on in the Black community, especially against white women interbreeding with their Black men, and I just, me coming from, I was born in California and then I lived in Colorado, and me coming from the West and stuff, I just never, experienced this kind of racism coming from the East where I'm living at. And I do notice a lot of the Black community, they don't like white women interbreeding with their Black men, And this woman, she was telling her, I guess there was a little scuffle going on, and, the customer always has to be right, where I work at. And she was just telling her, I'm going to slap, the other side that you should have just a lot of horrible stuff.
Right.
About, yeah. So I don't think a lot of people realize and notice that there is racism going on, but it is mainly the Black community being against white community. You know what I mean? Do you know?
Yeah, that happens a lot. That definitely happens a lot. That's not even uncommon. And you know what? That same thing can be seen amongst Black people without white people.
There's a lot of that anger going on. Like a lot of white women don't. And where I live at, it's predominantly a lot of white and Black people. And I'm Hispanic, I'm Western Hispanic. I'm not from the Caribbean or anything. I'm from my ancestors came from Spain, and then of course they went to Mexico and whatnot. But
so you probably
I'm fully
you probably look white,
or whatever.
So you probably look white, right?
And I look a little white, yeah.
Okay.
And most of my family, they talk Spanish, but I'm the only person that is white. But I noticed that even because I do have a history that I was married and now I'm divorced and stuff, and I mentioned to told associates of mine where I work at and stuff. I showed pictures of my old life, and I'm trying to get back on my feet again and so on. And a specific coworker of mine, she's from Puerto Rico, and she's half Black. She has that she's Spanish and stuff from the Caribbean area. And then I showed her a picture of my husband, and she looked at me, she's like, he's white? And I'm like, yeah. It's just a totally different world over here in the East area, and I just don't. I'm just very today. I just was so angry, and I just didn't understand it. But now, I'm understanding, there is racism going on. There's a lot of racism going on in the Black community.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you what's. Hold on, call. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. What's happening? Over here, once you get closer to the East Coast, there's more cultural mixing, and and when you have cultural mixing, you're gonna have clashes, and it's also within the Black community itself, even without any other races, dark skin versus light skin, all this, and that's going on amongst blacks and then Hispanics. It's like, okay, are you Mexican? Are you Honduran? Are you
Yeah.
Guatemalan? Are you
Yeah.
Puerto Rican? So it's always, you have cultural clashes that happen in a more
It's
diverse
in the
area.
East.
Huh? Yeah, but now the thing about it is in California, is it culturally diverse as it is in the East?
Well, in California, I grew up with a lot of Filipinos, you know,
But
a
the
lot of
question
Asians and stuff.
is it more culturally, because you can have different races, but is it more culturally diverse? See, over in the East, it's more culturally diverse. Is it culturally diverse
Yeah.
as far as people being way different and living in the same place as it is over in California?
It is very diverse. And then I also I met my husband, my former husband, in Colorado, and I've been living here in Wisconsin for about like 3 years. You know, due to like you know past circumstances and setbacks and after a divorce and stuff like that. But in the Middle East, of course, you know you see a lot of Hispanics with like white people, or you know, just it's you know, it's just or white people with white people or what have you. But I do notice that the culture is just so different. And I
I
never,
got you.
I mean, I also grew up. I'm like my whole family speaks Spanish, but I'm like the only one who doesn't. You know, and I grew up with like many types of diversity. Like I grew up with like people who are black, people who are white, people.
Well, okay, I
You know,
got one question for you. Now, when you grew up in California, was everybody pretty much on the same page that you grew up with? Like y'all kind of got along and had common interests? Was that
the
kind of
minority were blacks. And
But no, hold on. Call it like the
blacks
question.
and
Call,
whites.
listen
But
to
the
me. Caller.
majority were like
Can you hear me?
Asian
Caller.
and like Hispanic.
Caller. Now the question was, when you were growing up in California, did you guys have common interests, and were you guys pretty much on the same page with different races?
Yeah, we were. You know.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that points to a lack of cultural diversity. I'm not saying it's not diverse racially, but culturally you guys are like the same, but just different racially.
Yeah.
In the East, it's not quite like that. It's people that have different cultures that are all in the same place, which creates the problems. But if we've been on for a while.
Yeah.
We've been on for a while. I have to get to the next call. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, ABL. Thank you for what you do. And much love to you, to your family. And hi to everybody out there.
All right. Thank you for the
And,
call. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Bye.
All right. We don't need to exit. You know, we'll need the outro. But thank you for the call. But yeah, you know, what I get about from California is that it's more modern culture. Maybe I'm wrong because I'm not a California guy, but it's more monocultural, except for like certain little areas. But over here, you got, depending upon where you live, it could be people from different cultures that just live in one place. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. But you guys let me know what's happening. All right, let's get to some more here. 956 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. My name's Jeff, and I'm calling you from the border of Texas. And I wanted to give it an update. I called you a couple of weeks ago, and this is the update I've got for you. I live right on the border, and a friend of mine has a several thousand-acre ranch, and he's finding more and more people with backpacks hiking through his property, and they're illegals. And on top of that, they've set up camps, and they're releasing more illegal aliens right in Midland, Odessa area, and many of them have tested positive for COVID. I just wanted to give you that quick update. I won't take your time because I know you got a lot of callers, but I just thought you'd want to know that because I thought it was just ridiculous.
It really is. I thank you for the information. Definitely appreciate that.
You betcha, man. Take care, buddy. Love your show.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody said I was rude. How was I rude? I was being very nice. I was being talked over and everything else. I'm just trying to do my own thing. I'm not rude. Cut it out. Stop. I'm probably the nicest guy on the whole internet when it comes to doing a live call-in show. Let's get some more calls here. I got a little bit of time left. 805 here on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hi, ABL. This is Cassandra from California.
All righty, California in the house. What's happening?
Yeah, woo-woo. Yeah, I'm just kind of piggybacking off your one Wisconsin caller. But yeah, I think Southern California is pretty monolithic. There's not too much of cultural differences. It's pretty much very easygoing. I don't know about Northern California. I think that's a different kind of thing, but at least Southern California is pretty monolithic.
That's kind of the vibe I get, But
yeah, we're pretty much like we just go with the flow, like we like all of our stuff here, just because the land itself. While we're managed like shit, we have everything we need right here. Like you can drive 2 hours to the snow, and then you can drive 2 hours down and put your flip-flops back on. Like we have everything we need. We have the best of everything. So it's pretty monolithic here in Southern California.
That's kind of what I figured. I thank you for that.
Yeah.
But one thing, we can't cuss on the show. That's only rule. One thing.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry. And but yeah, it is kind of weird when I do go to other states. Like North Carolina was probably the only state I felt uncomfortable with. I visited a friend that was black, and like everywhere we went, people were looking at us, and it just was very apparent and weird.
Now, here's the question: what part of North Carolina were you in?
We were in the Uptown area, so she lived kind of in Charlotte.
Okay.
Area, yeah.
But were you in the city or like kind of on the outskirts of Charlotte?
Definitely more in the nicer suburban areas.
Yeah, you'll get that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we definitely got a lot of looks out the corner of our eyes. And I don't know, I noticed it was very weird for me coming from California, just because we are racially very blended over here, so it's weird going to another state where it's polarized between basically two dominating races, and that's pretty much all you have. It's very weird.
Yeah,
experience.
It's like that. Like in certain parts, like where I live like more in the city. So to see black and white together, that's not really a thing. That's normal. But once you go kind of out to where it's like one race or the other, like if you go out to like downtown, it's like 100% black. And if you happen to be a mixed race couple out there, it's like, okay. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, I grew up in all black areas. If you saw a light-skinned black person, that was weird. That you would get looked at. If you were a light-skinned woman, it'd be like some type of unicorn coming through. That's how it was when I was a kid. So it's like that depending upon where you are in the country, because they're not used to seeing it.
Yeah, exactly. Just one quick thing. It's just a random thought as watching your thing, but I don't. On the mass immigration, I was thinking maybe it possibly just could be to replace the people that are all exiting California and New York.
Oh, well,
because there have been thoughts that like New York is at risk of losing seats if people keep leaving. They lose seats, which means they have less people in government to represent, which, in California people keep leaving. That means that they're no longer going to get 55 electorates. So they kind of need to replace the people leaving. That seems like the easiest way.
That's a very good point.
So
I didn't even think about that.
It just seems like a basic thing. Like, well, who are they replacing us with if we keep leaving? Like, they don't want to lose the seats because those are two big electorates. This is my random thought while watching your show. I was like, huh.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. But thank you for the call.
Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
And shout out to the caller. I see a lot of you guys from Carolina in the chat saying it's more, diverse down there. I lived in Virginia, obviously, and seeing black on white is no big deal once you in the cities. That's nothing. That's normal. You're gonna see a lot of black on white, but once you get further out in some of these small towns, it's different. It is different. It's not like you're gonna get attacked. It's just it might be kind of like, oh, okay, where you guys from? A lot of that could be that because where I live in Tennessee, everybody's super nice. Super, super nice. It don't matter, black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, everybody's nice to you. But I do always get asked wherever I go, where you from? I get asked that question all the time. So I might get a look because they could tell I'm not from here. So if you got any kind of looks, it's like, all right, I never seen you before. You look like you're from out of town. Where you from? It could be that as well. Pardon me. All right. All right, calling on line. I'm speaking to 757.
Hello, it's Thomas.
All right, man. What's going on?
I just want to bring up like the ghost guns and all that.
You said what now?
I mean, the ghost guns.
Yeah.
I'm only 15. I can't really get into all of it, but from my views, not everyone's gonna have a milling machine. Like, I don't know anyone with a milling machine that does it. One guy I knew that was miles away from me. So I'm kind of nervous.
Nah, I'm with you though. Like, people don't have these machines. They don't have these machines to really be able to manufacture these weapons. That's not a very common thing to have.
Yeah. I'm kind of the gun guy in my house. And a couple years ago, my grandpa passed away, so my dad got all the guns,
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why he kept them was for me, he bought, a couple years ago, he bought me a nice old 870, Remington. And background check was pretty easy. Take a quiz, done. But now I'm scared to be like, hey, can I get a new gun, Because, I don't want him to go through that just to make me happy, It's just too much.
Right. I'm with you, man. Well, I thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right. Shout out to the caller. All right. That'll be right for me tonight. If you couldn't get on, it's not my fault. You got to blame the white man. But thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. All right. I got super chats to read right quick, and then I'm going to put the bow on the top. Announcement. If you're going to be in Chattanooga, Tennessee area, next Saturday. So this time, next Saturday, well, not right around this time. I say right around 4 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern. So there's going to be a Blexit rally in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'll be there. I will be there. My wife will be there. Friends are going to be there. I think Candace Owens is going to be there. Brandon Tatum. A lot of heavy hitters. Vernon Jones is going to be there in Chattanooga. This is next Saturday, April 17th at 4 p.m. at the Signal in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I think if you go to Blexit.com, there should be tickets that are still available. But I'm going to be there. So that's my announcement. I will be there. I won't be speaking. There's a reason why I'm not speaking. No beef or nothing like that. I love everybody over there. But I just wasn't able to. But I will be in attendance, just hanging out. So y'all will see me there if you're out here in Chattanooga. Again, that will be next Saturday, April 17th, 2021 at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right? It's going to be a good event. I think it's going to be probably the first Blexit event or one of the first Blexit events in a long time since this whole virus thing will shut everything down. All right? Blexit, yes, black exit from the Democratic Party. Okay? It's not race specific. You can be whatever color you want to be and go there. There's going to be all kinds of speakers. It's going to be a good event. So go ahead and go if you're able to. All right. You could be whatever race you want. You could be black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. You can even be a space alien. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and get a ticket. It's fine. If you go online, try to get a ticket, it won't ask you what your race is to get a ticket. You can just go. It's fine. All right. So thank y'all again for being here. I got super chats on deck, and then I'm gonna wrap it on up. What's being exited? We're exiting the Democratic Party. We're exiting the mind state of dependence, of relying upon the government for everything, for not doing for yourself. That's what it is. But there's a website, Blexit.com. You could all your questions will be answered right there. It'll all be right there. All right. And let me see. Super chats, I'm gonna read those right quick and then I'll wrap it on up. Pineapple Autopotamus, hopefully I didn't butcher that. I always try to get it right when I read it. Says Blink-182 was helping our military with aliens, FYI. FA Ranger Xbox says Portland, Connecticut had a huge Trump rally next to the Portland-Middleton Bridge. I was booming. Topher's a Patriot. Yeah, shout out to Topher and the Patriot. Great song. Absolutely. Thank you to Per Kalo who says, check this out. St. Vincent volcano, only those vaccinated can evacuate. Wow. That's crazy. Is a volcano active? What if the volcano erupts? You can't even leave because you don't got the vaccine. That's ridiculous. All right. Let me see. Thank you to Connie for the thanks for being you emoji. I appreciate you for that. Let me see. Thank you to Radicalized Ryan for the keep it up, working out emoji. Thank you to Tech Key One who says, copy, good job on no vaccine passports for the military. Stay true. Thank you to Matthew Phillips who says, shout out to my fellow Canadian caller from Ontario. We need to defy these lockdowns and resist forced vaccinations, no matter how our tyrant liberal and conservative, quote unquote, politicians push this agenda. Thank you to Chili Chill. Great name. I love it. Chili Chill says, MLB are criminals. Sprinkle some vows and you get blamed. Demo rats, racist bigots create chaos like border insanity, Biden crime acts, non-constitutional executive orders, and COVID. Need to back off. Hey, there you go. Thank you to, is it already sold out? Wow. Hey, well, I'll still be in Chattanooga. So if you're there, if you're downtown, I'll be there. You'll see me. I'm 6'3". I'll be wearing a light gray suit. You'll understand why. But I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm really easy to see. I'm really easy to spot out in the crowd. All right. Thank you to That's Love at MC. I know I tore it up and it's not my fault. Who says hashtag keep fighting. Thank you to Shaggy Boy for the donation. Thank you to Teddy Portuano for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to, okay, where am I at? Thank you to Citizen Shane who says founding fathers did not go about declaring independence in the legal way, but I take your point about organization and support. Next time I will take you up on your invitation to discuss solutions. Thank you to Monroe Doctrine who says person made a fake press corps Twitter account, was able to ask Saki 4 questions. Person said they were tired of media asking poor questions. I saw that. Now, this was not just any old person. This was a Roblox gamer. An online Roblox gamer was able to get questions to Jen Psaki. Now, the person was not actually there. They asked them through other reporters. So they had to fool reporters into believing that they were one of their colleagues. And the reporters asked questions on the Roblox gamers' behalf. Now, what I want to know is, did the Roblox gamers stream the responses or not? That's what I want to know, but I digress. So shout out to Roblox. Shout out to all the online gaming streamers. You guys made the big time. You made it to the White House press corps. Shout out to Teddy who said, thanks ABL for being real. Appreciate your work. Thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate you. Thank you to Abundance America Health, Wealth, and Wisdom who says, they know blacks have ID. They set in the stage for illegals to vote using blacks as a scapegoat. There you go. We have ID, that's fine. But if you are an illegal alien, you're not going to have an ID, or not at least a valid one. And they want them to be able to vote too. So they can stay in power using the illegal alien vote. Makes sense to me. Thank you to Daniel Orr for being a member 6+ months. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Eunice for the how's it going emoji. I appreciate you for that. Shout out to Charles Hunter Jr. who says a multi-ethnic or multiracial society might be fine, but we do not want a multicultural society. Dinesh D'Souza. There you go. Thank you to Wendigo Smith, who says, what LA has is everyone knows the system is corrupt. 70% of the population is corrupt in some way. Luca Brazzi says, social activist and a $1.3 million home. I'm in the wrong business. Yeah, pretty much. If you're trying to get some monies, go woke. Go woke and don't go broke. But we'll move on. Thank you to Leo Mazzino, who says, my mom is in a nursing home in New Jersey. I can visit her, but I need to make an appointment to see her. Now I can see inside, but I must be vaccinated. Else I have to meet her outside. Wow. That's crazy. Yes, I am 6'3", so I'm easy to spot wherever I am. Thank you to Oscar for the thank you emoji. I appreciate you, boss. Shout out to No Name, who says, the POC have one enemy, the white liberal. There you go. That's everybody's enemy, regardless of what. Shout out to the Alpha and the Omega, who says, can you add Jericho on the Tatum panel, please? Well, hey, of course he'll be on the panel, 100%. Shout out to my brother Jericho Green and Brandon Tatum. Great guys. And thank you to Angel for the #1 fan emoji. I appreciate you, boss. All right, that'll be a wrap for me. I appreciate you guys for being here. Like I've said before, this show will be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that's Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. And a link for that will be in the description box. Shout out to the mods for doing a great job tonight, keeping them trolls in check, keeping everything nice and above board. And thank you to everybody that's watched. I will see you guys again live next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as always. And I'll be, dropping videos all throughout the week about whatever's going on. Oh yeah, the merch. Go to ablmerch.com. ABL, Anthony Brian Logan, ablmerch.com. I got the 1776 hats. I got the I Survived the Pandemic, whatever you want to call it, hats. I got all that good stuff over there. A bunch of brand new designs on the site. Again, ablmerch.com. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.